Well, we're here at the Gator Bowl. Ole Miss about ready to receive the ball. 9-2 this year. You know, one of the things that Ole Miss is they play with such great emotion this year, and they're going to need it against this Michigan team. We saw Ohio State fall to Air Force. You know, they had the big gate team that day. And this game, Ole Miss is going to try to do it on emotions, and they've been doing it all year. I think this Rebel team will put on a real big display today, Ron.
Now you look at Ashley right there, trying to get these headsets taken care of here. I think the gremlins and the weather crept in and caused some problems. Michigan deferring to the second half. Ole Miss receiving. From the 6-yard line, Ashley. So let's take a look at the starters on offense for Ole Miss. Tom Luke out of Gulfport, Mississippi, will get the call at quarterback. He's only a sophomore. Ed Pittman is the fullback with Randy Baldwin, the tailback. The wide receivers, Brownlee and Holder. The tight end, Daniel Westmoreland, a surprise starter, replacing Armstrong. Dawson Pruitt is the starter at center. Dew and Lindsay are the offensive guards, and the tackles, Lee Lott and Adrian Struther. Luke on first down, rolls the pocket, and this is what Gary Moeller worried most about. Not a receiver there, and he picks up 5 yards. And let's take a look at the starters on defense for the Michigan Wolverines. It's going to be T.J. Osmond beginning at middle guard. The defensive tackles are Evans and Chris Hutchinson, and we'll call Hutchinson's name a lot today. Milligan and Anderson are the inside linebackers. On the outside, it's Martin Davis and Neil Simpson. The quarterbacks, David Key and Lance Dotton. And the safeties, Otis Williams and Beta Murray. Trip Weldon unable to go because of a knee injury, lost for the year. Straight ahead with the handoff is Big Ken, the fullback, and he will take it close to the first down up around the 36, maybe the 37-yard line. Chris Hutchinson is the man who makes the stop for Michigan.
Ron, you know, when we talked to the Mississippi offenses coach, Red Parker, he said they must keep this ball in position to avoid the big, long yardage situations. He doesn't feel confident throwing the ball when a must situation. He likes these 3rd down and 4s, 3rd downs and 3s. The only problem is everybody likes those situations.
3rd down, Gary, and it's about a half yard for Ole Miss to pick up the first down. Ole Miss in short yardage goes with the wishbone. Luke will keep it. Wow, does he get tagged? That's Otis Williams, the junior from Canton, Ohio, who comes up from a strong safety spot, but it will be enough for the Ole Miss first down.
They call it the 300 series, and Luke is going to fake it to the fullback right here. Watch Otis Wilson. He comes up and lays one on him. That's what the Michigan defense has to do. If the quarterback's going to carry the ball a lot, they got to lay a lot of hits on him. There you see Otis. He went off. He was the recipient of a little bit of a pain on that one.
So number 29, David Ritter, the junior from Hickory Hills, Illinois, comes in replacing him as Luke on first down under pressure avoids the rush and now will run. And he takes it out to the 45-yard line. Anderson and Milligan, the 2 inside backers, are the man that make the tackle. Simpson is the guy who pressured him.
Yeah, outside linebacker Neil Simpson, number 65. He's going to come from the bottom of your screen. And when you watch Luke on film, he does this constantly. Ducks and spins and turns around. You know, he doesn't overpower you in any area. He doesn't have an overpowering arm, but he makes play after play after play. And this is what Michigan must avoid. These times when they have him stopped and they get something out of nothing.
3 carries for 15 yards for him as Baldwin gets the first carry of the afternoon. Randy, as a junior, had 970 yards rushing for Ole Miss. Second leading rusher in the SEC this year.
I'll tell you, he made first team All-SEC, averaged 6 yards a carry, runs about a 4.3 40. And he bench presses 400 pounds. Eric Anderson, number 37, had to hit on that. But you're going to see a lot of Randy Baldwin.
Armstrong comes in the ballgame at tight end. Eric Knuth has checked in at nose guard for Michigan. Luke hands it off in the belly, straight ahead, and Billings will have the first down just across midfield. Aaron is a junior from Jackson, Mississippi, who's been plagued with a knee injury.
Red Parker calls it a 300 series. The idea here with this wishbone is to give the Michigan defense a two-way go. They line up balance, they put in a big fullback, Darren Billings, number 39, and they just run the ball balanced either way. That's what they want, those short yardage situations, Ron.
First down for the Rebels, and for the first time today, they have gone across midfield. Big pressure on Luke. Can't get away this time, and he's sacked. That's Martin Davis, the sophomore from Chesapeake, Virginia, and he'll drop in for a 9-yard loss. Now, this is what Red Parker and Billy Brewer did not want to see happen, and that is the 2nd and long situation.
Well, he tried a little pass here on 1st down. You see the linebackers, number 37, Eric Anderson. He comes up, he's in man-to-man, and they're just bringing 4 people, not an overpowering blitz here or anything. They just beat a man-to-man. Martin Davis, the outside linebacker, comes in and gets the sack.
8th play of this drive for Ole Miss as we are at the 11-minute mark. Baldwin breaks it to the outside. Will pick up maybe 5 yards as he comes to the 46. Martin Davis again defensively for Michigan. And Ole Miss will look at a 3rd down. And Gary, to pick up the first, they've got to go just inside the Wolverine 40-yard line.
I don't think you'll see anything real, amazing in this play call right here. Right now, Ole Miss can punt this ball, back up Michigan, and play some defense. They don't want to have an early turnover. Coach Brewer told us if he keeps the game close, he wants to win it in the 4th quarter.
Thigpen and Baldwin, the setbacks for the Rebels. Luke looking long and has a man there. Just overthrown. Number 5, Vincent Brownlee. And somehow Ole Miss had gotten 2 receivers in the area, covered by only 1 back.
Let's take a look at Luke right here. He's going to drop back, roll to his left just a little bit. It's about a half play action pass, and they're going to try to flood the zone. 2 deep guys, little pump fake, and lets it rip. Problem is, he's got a guy in his face every time. That time it was Chris Hutchins. 2 guys, one down the seam and one down the outside. And you can see Lance Doughton had good coverage, and there really was nobody to throw to.
Desmond Howard at an average of just over 11 yards per return, 19 his longest, waiting to accept this punt from Childers. Now he is kicking into the wind, which continues to vary right now, but is blowing very strong, and it is holding up the spiral punt as he signals for the fair catch and makes it at the 26-yard line. 29 yards of the punt, and let's take a look at the starters on offense for the Michigan Wolverines. Elvis Gerbach out of Willoughby Hills, Ohio, will start it in quarterback. Behind him, John Vaughn. He's a great one, over 1,200 yards rushing, and Jared Bunch, the big fullback. Alexander and Desmond Howard, the wide receivers. The tight end is Dave DeBolt. Steve Everett is the center. The guards, Matt Elliott and Dean Dingman. Doring and Skrepenik are the offensive tackles. Very big up front. From that customary I formation, right up the middle they go with the run as Ricky Powers has gotten the call to start at tailback, and I'm a little surprised at that. Let's take a look at the start defensively for the Ole Miss Rebels. Victor Lester is the nose guard. The defensive ends, Jacobs, he's a huge one, and Kelvin Pritchard, we'll call his name a lot today. Sean Cobb and Pete Harris. Pete is a surprise starter, has a hamstring pull. No huddle for Michigan, and we'll check the remainder of that defense in just a moment. Gain of 5 on that first play for the Wolverines. Gerbach on play action. Pressure comes up the middle, and it's overthrown as he wanted Powers out of the backfield. Now the remainder of the Ole Miss defense and their starters. Philip Kent, very good one on the outside. Roger Hancock on the other, number 21. The corners are Boyd and Godwin, and the safeties for Ole Miss, Chris Mitchell, big hitter, number 38, and Jeff Carter, number 11. 3rd down. And for the Wolverines to keep this drive alive, they need the ball just out over the 36-yard line. They go with the running play. Powers will have the first down as he cuts it across the 36 to the 37. Roger Hancock there defensively as you look at Gary Moeller on the sideline.
Well, they call these guys the Block M, and they've played about 20 games together right here. They're just huge. They go about 290 pounds, and they push. The thing that they do so well, Ron, is they work together. I mean, they live together. They order pizzas together every day, and they just get out in front of you. They mash them. Skrepenik, 322 pounds. They had to buy a new scale to get this guy involved in it.
Michigan going without the huddle, and one of the reasons Gary talked on Saturday about the number of defensive people that Ole Miss plays. I think he's trying to keep them out of the ballgame. Movement at the line of scrimmage as Gerbach will hold it up, a couple of markers down. There was contact made in the middle.
Well, I think the other thing that the no huddle does is it keeps a little, the size of the Michigan line. It just wears on those defensive guys. They run a few more plays, and that's their advantage.
Offsides against Mississippi.
Coach Billy Brewer, 4 of the 8 years that he's been at Ole Miss, he has guided the Rebels to a bowl game, this one being the 4th time. By the way, our referee today, this is a very good crew. We have had, in fact, on Thanksgiving night, we had Buddy Ward and his group. They are from the Southern Independent Conference. Do an awfully good job. Gary, also the advantages I'll get you to talk about as we go along here with Michigan with this no huddle. First down and 5 as they scrimmage from the 41. Powers takes it straight ahead and straightened up with a linebacker, but he's still going to wind up with a gain of about 3 yards. And Ole Miss has to be wondering right now with that line surge that every time Michigan has carried the ball, it's been at least 3 or 4 yards before contact was made.
Well, defensive coordinator for Ole Miss, Robert Henry, said if they're able to run the ball between the tackles and just mash us, we're going to have some problems because sooner or later they're going to hit us with that play-action pass and go up top. Anytime somebody can stick it right down your throats, you have a problem on defense.
Michigan again with no huddle. They come back to the short side of the field, and that's Bunch, the fullback. 6'2", 247 pounds. He's one of the team captains, and he will have the first down. And apologetically, Gary Moeller said in our meeting on Saturday, he said, boy, I would like to run this guy more. And I said, well, why don't you? I think he's really one of his favorite players.
And how about the defensive coaches for Ole Miss? They said, I hope they don't run him.
They don't. That's right.
They see the same things. I think these guys know what they're doing when they're coaching,
Yeah, Robert Henry says one of the things that we really keep our fingers crossed and hope doesn't happen, and that is that Bunch would carry it 20 times. Powers almost breaks it out. Then the hole closes quickly, but he's going to have a gain of about 4 on the play into Ole Miss territory at the 47-yard line.
Greg Skrepenik, 6'6", 322 pounds. Right here, he gives him a little pass set. Oh, he's got a little guy he's blocking right here. That's number 21, Roger Hancock, coming in. He just gives him a big old shove, and then he just finds someone else to hit.
110 pounds difference between Skrepenik and Hancock. 3 wide receivers go left this time for Michigan. Only 1 setback. Bunch comes to the short side of the field, breaks it out, still carries a tackler with him, and it's Danny Boyd who came up to make the halt, but he will have the first down and a gain of very close to 10 at the 36.
Skrepenik, Dingman, Everett, Doring, Elliott. That's the strength. It's called block M right here. And when they can move the ball like this, and remember, Jared Bunch, he's 250 pounds also, runs a 4.5 40. He's going to be a pro football player playing on Sundays next year.
Ole Miss had an extended drive to open the ball game, and now Michigan, the 8th play on this drive for them as Powers goes left. It's stuck hard at the line of scrimmage. He will wind up still with a gain of about 3 or 4 as the surge is good. It's Chris Mitchell, number 38, who comes up to make the stick.
I think Ole Miss is going to have to move a few more guys closer to the line of scrimmage. They need to go with that bear look, get 5 guys up there, bring the strong safety up. Who cares about if they can throw the ball? They have to stop the running game first.
Philip Kent checks onto the lineup.
They're still keeping their secondary back, only committing 7 guys to stopping the run.
Bunch again. And this time the fullback behind the block of Powers as a flag goes down, and he'll take it to the 30-yard line.
Bunch on the carry for the Wolverines.
Victor Lester defensively for Ole Miss. There to make the hit, number 86.
Against Michigan.
Yeah, I think we got a hold on Skrepenik here. He turned his man. He got a pancake out of it. But towards the end, he twisted him, and those are the ones that they'll call. Number 75, the right side of your screen right here. He latches on, back of his hand, pulls the jersey down. Yeah, you could see it there from up in the booth. That's what Ole Miss needs. They need to have a mistake because to stop the running game. Otherwise, they're just going to pound on them all day. Now let's see if Gerbic can get a little bit involved in this pass game. Get the magic man in here. Let's throw the ball around.
Ricky Powers started at tailback as you take a look at 21, Desmond Howard, the magic man, as Gary was referring to.
We got 3 wide receivers in. Kevin Owens in the game.
Most unusual look for Michigan.
Tight ends out, yeah.
The second and long, the short drop, looking past Derek Alexander, and he will take it for the first down to the 25-yard line.
Very, very simple little pass route here. The inside receiver goes on a little flat route about 2 yards deep. Derek Alexander, comes in on the slant, puts it right on the numbers. This guy's only a sophomore also. Desmond Howard and Derek Alexander, both sophomores. Derek was the number 2 receiver, 29 catches. That's quite a system you have here. When you got a quarterback that can throw like that and an offensive line that can mash you like that, that causes some deep problems for the Ole Miss.
Gerback is very big also at 6'5", 218. He can see over that huge offensive line. Running play, and again, Bunch, the fullback, and he'll take it down to the 23-yard line. Roger Hancock, the senior from Bentonia, Mississippi, comes outside to make the stop.
Hancock is about a half outside linebacker, half defensive back. He plays in that outside weak side linebacker spot. You'll see him a lot of times drop as a corner in pass coverage. He's one of those people like Feasians Bartley at Florida that just does a lot of things even though he's a linebacker. Not your typical linebacker.
You look at him and you say maybe strong safety.
Not
as well,
surprised they're running to the right side. Let me say that.
Second down. Michigan needs about 7.5. Ricky Powers gets hit hard at the line of scrimmage. That was Doug Jacobs, the 280-pound senior from Mocksville, North Carolina. And after he had been posted, then help from the secondary, and Jeff Carter came up to help out. It's going to be a third down Michigan, and they need the 16-yard line of Ole Miss.
They're staying with the no huddle. You would think coming down here from the north to the south, this would be a little bit of a change-up, and they wouldn't really want to go this way. Ole Miss is going to take the timeout, so they're making a merge one, probably to get the right people in there for this third down play.
We have had so much running in this first quarter. We have only 4:24 left to play. Opening quarter, Michigan and Ole Miss scoreless. Well, part of the landing area. It's a beautiful area right on the St. Johns River in downtown Jacksonville. In fact, we watched the lights parade on Saturday evening. That's when they put lights on their boats and parade there rather than in the streets.
Ole Miss has gone to the nickel defense. They brought in Tyrone Ashley, number 33.
Third down, Michigan. They need just over 7 yards to pick up the first down. They need the 16-yard line. Gerback. Over the middle, it is intercepted. Up the far sideline. Gerback will miss him, and he will be stopped at the 33-yard line. Tyrone Ashley, 58 yards on the return.
What a super job of baiting the quarterback. Tyrone Ashley, number 33, was playing center field, but Gerback never sees him. He thinks he's got the tight end wide open. He waits too long, and Ashley comes across and gets the pick off. Tyrone Ashley has played both ways for this Ole Miss team. He's a wide receiver also. He's caught a pass this year, and he just made a super defensive play. I think they baited him, Ron. I think they left the tight end open, waited for him to throw to him, and came across all the way.
I think you're right, because Gerback even threw a soft touch pass rather than zinging it in there.
He thought he'd beware of the obvious as a quarterback. That's the first thing you learn.
Ole Miss from the 33-yard line. Little play action to Baldwin. Pressure on Luke, and he's going to run. Going to pick up about 6 yards as Neil Simpson will be there to make the stop for the Michigan Wolverines, as they are really putting pressure on Tom Luke. Ron Franklin, Gary Danielson, and Dr. Jerry Punch, and we say to you and yours a very happy 1991. Happy New Year to you. As you look at Billy Brewer, he played in this Gator Bowl, and in fact had an interception in the Gator Bowl game that Ole Miss played in 1958. On the second and short, Luke tried to fake the handoff and then go misdirection with his carry. And Gary, he's going to only have about 1 yard as Mike Evans is there to make the stop.
Well, Luke is not going to beat you just dropping back and throwing 50 passes. He's only completed 47% of his throws this year. But he can cause you headaches scrambling out of the backfield. And if he gets the ball in the right guy's hand after a scramble, that's the way to do it. There you're looking at Red Parker, the offensive coordinator, the all-time coach here. He's a great guy. Draws him up in the ground sometimes.
Pressure, ball is on the ground, and Ole Miss has recovered at the 31-yard line. So the third down and short as Baldwin makes the recovery. And I believe again it was Mike Evans who came in to destroy the play.
Well, it was that option play again, and they just hit it into the mouth. They came in, they slanted, they came in from the outside. It was Mike Evans, number 92, and he goes over the fullback and gets the quarterback. The fullback has to take the defensive end in that case. If the defensive end can play both the fullback and the quarterback, you have problems.
Brian Lee, the kicker, has not hit a field goal since the last week in September. You might be wondering why Billy Brewer is going for a 4th down and 7. That is the reason. Luke dumps his pass off. It is incomplete, and there is a flag down at the 32-yard line. Otis Williams with the hit.
Ole Miss had too many people on the field. Michigan will decline, and they'll get the ball 1st and 10.
So Ole Miss misses on a golden opportunity after the 58-yard interception return from Ashley. And Michigan comes up with a stellar defensive effort to stop them in 4
We have an
straight
illegal
plays.
substitution against Mississippi. He declined the 1st down Michigan.
Ron, you're so right. Their field goal problems forced them into going for this 4th down play. Here you'll see the pass. He got off a little late, a little slow. Could have been caught, but Eric Anderson came in there with the big hit. Oh, I think it was Otis Wilson, I'm sorry, came in with the big hit. He got it and fumbled it loose, and even if he had not fumbled the ball, he would not have picked up the 1st down.
I'll be anxious to see now what that does to the psyche of Michigan offensively after having the interception and Ashley coming close to taking it all the way back. If they might go a tad conservative.
Well, you know, running the ball as well as they picked up yards it might be a conservative compared to throwing the ball, but they were successful for it. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't go back.
Timeout, 2:06 left in the 1st quarter. The 46th Mazda Gator Bowl. We have only 2:06 left in this opening quarter because of both football teams depending so much on the run. It has been a rapid 1st quarter. Gary explained to me why John Vaughn, who is well from his ankle injury and had over 1,200 yards rushing this year, why Powers would move in front to
The
start.
only thing I can think of is just how well Ricky did at the end of the year. He had 3 straight games where he gained over 100 yards. They're going to go with him. That's just the way he did it, finished off the year. We understood that John Vaughn was healthy and fine.
There's Vaughn on the sideline. Yes, in fact, when I was down visiting with Coach Brewer for the pregame interview, I watched the youngster and commented that his ankle looked as though it was fine. The other thing that they have done, maybe to cross Ole Miss up a little bit this afternoon, is Bunch has been far more active as a ball carrier. He carries it just now for about 4 yards in the play.
Those are probably matchup calls. They watch the film and they just feel that's the best way they can move the ball.
Ole Miss comes with pressure from the outside as the pass goes to Howard. Turns it up the sideline and will have the 1st down. Danny Boyd will knock him out of bounds.
Well, that's what's so tough. You know, they hammer you inside and you start leaning inside, and all of a sudden they get it out to Magic right here. Little quick screen. Number 31, Kevin Owens, gets a block downfield. 1 man to beat. He beats Mitchell, and he picks up the 1st down. Very safe pass. Come back, get the quarterback feeling confident again.
Michigan with the 1st down. The ball just out across the 37-yard line. Gerback with a play action. Has a hand in the face. He got a man all alone as Howard at the 20. And he'll score. Of the victors, Michigan goes 63 yards in the pass play, and how in the world did Desmond Howard get that free?
Well, it's easy when you can run the ball. Everything works off of it. He did it out and up and beat his man by 20 yards. That ball could have been thrown 30 yards further, and he still would have got it. He's an amazing player. You just keep isolated on him, he's going to lead you to a lot of traffic and excitement.
Ole Miss really bit on the play action as they were looking for either Bunch or Powers to carry the ball, as the extra point is good.
Play action pass, everyone's involved. He comes down, you see everybody looking inside. He goes, he thinks about 12 yards, he goes to the out, and look at that. He beats him. He beats Amos by about 15 yards. The ball's under throw. And now, like Anthony Carter, look, you cannot tackle his feet. They're just too quick, and he prances into the end zone.
Amos also looked as though he stumbled a little bit when he read and realized that the man was going by. 7-0, Wolverines lead. We'll all have to be by the tuba for that triple header come Saturday. Hoops here on ESPN, the Total Sports Network. Well, Michigan with the home run balls, 63 yards. And they tried to confuse Ole Miss by staying in a huddle and then kicking off. Ashley from the 5.
Play action passes, the bomb after you run the ball. Everybody has to be a part of it. The offensive line. Watch Jared Bunch. He blocks on the play. Ricky Powers makes a good fake. Doug Jacobs is right at Elvis's face as he throws this ball. That's why it's a little bit short. But after the magic catch at Desmond Howard, watch him kick his feet up. Reminds me of Anthony Carter. You don't tackle him by his feet. They're just too fast and too quick. 7-0 Michigan with the bomb.
Courtney and Billings come in. First time that we have seen them as running backs for Ole Miss today. Option play by Luke. Pitches at the last moment, and Courtney will be bumped out of bounds at the 25-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 6 for Ole Miss, and they'll look at a second down and short. David Key defensively, number 26.
Billy Brewer wanted to take some time off the clock. He wanted to keep this ball game close, and you thought maybe after that big interception that would be the real turning point for him. But they haven't been able to move it effectively right here on offense, and that's been their problem. The option game hasn't given them enough, and Michigan defense, they hit, and they keep hitting.
Straight ahead with the fullback this time, Billingsley, and he's close to the first down, just out across the 28. Osman there to make the stop for Michigan, and it's going to be a 3rd down and short, Ole Miss.
Something Ole Miss does a little different. Watch a shift by the linemen. They get their splits a little bit different, kind of like the Dallas Cowboys, but then they get down on a 4-point stand. I haven't seen that too often. That way they can adjust their split on the go.
For the guys playing technique up front, they have to be ever mindful of that, or you might go from a 7 technique to whatever. Luke gonna be caught, knocked down. He will not have the first down. Now, if Ole Miss is smart here, they will let the clock run because they will have the win. Let's see if Michigan calls a timeout. Michigan is not going to do so, and the Rebels will get a break. Otherwise, they would have been kicking into that very stiff breeze, and that is the end of the first quarter. With our score, Michigan 7 and Ole Miss nothing. Happy New Year, everyone. Ron Franklin, Gary Danielson, and Dr. Jerry Punch from Jacksonville, Florida. Very cloudy and foggy and overcast. Michigan leads 7-0. As we get a look at Childers, and as we mentioned just before the break, he gets a bit of a break because he is kicking now with a stiff breeze rather than kicking into it.
Well, it's a 30-mile difference, 17 and 34-mile difference, 17 into the win or 17 with the win.
This one's going to carry all the way to the 31-yard line, and the tackle is made at the 30. That is great coverage for the Ole Miss special teams, and Lewis Gordon drops in for a 1-yard loss. And let's go down to field side, and here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
Gentlemen, we have not seen tailback John Vaughn as of yet. I've talked to the Michigan doctor that said he's okay. He had a sprained ankle about 3 or 4 weeks ago. The ankle's a little bit ginger, but they have it taped up. He should come in this series. In fact, he's coming on the field right now as we speak. John Vaughn, a great running back early in the year for the Michigan Blue.
Well, we mentioned him in the pregame a bit, and the fact that over 1,200 yards for him, and a little bit surprised that Powers would start, but as Gary commented, the fact that Powers is very capable. He had over 600 yards in partial action this year. Gerback gets it out of the backfield to Vaughn. Boy, he gets hammered at the 40-yard line, but he will have the first down as Hancock came up and really put the leather to him, and Ole Miss has a player down at the 40.
Well, that's the one thing Vaughn does better than Powers at this point. Now, Vaughn's only a sophomore, mind you. He's their leading rusher, and he was their 3rd leading receiver. Little play-action pass again. Vaughn real close, makes the fake, looks for his linebacker. If he doesn't come, he just trickles down. Gerback looks deep, and then he checks down to the back. That's a very positive play when you can throw those backs. Very safe, and you pick up and move the chains.
Well, the man that is down is Kelvin Pritchett, and he's the guy that Ole Miss really cannot afford to lose. He has got 5 tackles so far. He's an all-league candidate. In fact, a lot of people think that he could go in the first round. I think his teammate caught him in the abdomen with the knee. It looked like at the end of the play, accidentally, he got caught with a knee.
In the knee, or maybe a little lower even.
Yeah, could have been. 14:30 left until halftime. Michigan 7-0 over Ole Miss. Vaughn. This is what he does best. Start in one direction, wind up to the outside, and he will have 9 yards in the play as Jeff Carter, the junior from Tuscaloosa, the free safety, is there to make the stop.
And this offensive line, you watch these guys block, and they just push from the backside. When you're running the ball at Michigan, you never know where it's going to go. The backside people just push, and he cuts back. Vaughn averaged over 6 yards a carry. He was the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. Kind of hard to believe, as a sophomore and a freshman, they got 2 players with that type of talent.
Well, there's a flag on the play, which was away from us, and they're gonna bring this one back.
Holding against Michigan, 10 yards, first down.
That's a difference of 19 because he had just picked up 9 yards on the play.
Well, it's interesting is Michigan's got an offensive line the size of a pro team, and they block like a pro team. They're learning the right way. They're holding.
One of the things that Robert Henry said yesterday when we visited with him, the defensive coordinator for Ole Miss, he said, Ron, they wind up outside with their runs, but they don't start them inside. It backs up what you were saying. It said they hit and they slide and they make their cuts behind the big offensive line, which makes it a tough read in the secondary. They set the screen to the right side. That's Bunch. Has 10, 15 yards of it back, and he's all the way up to the 46-yard line.
Bunch is 6'2", 250. They spread the defense all over the field, and they hit him with a little screen. This guy runs a 4.5 40, Ron. And you know what? When they moved him from tailback, which is the way he came to Michigan, to fullback, they had to do a little selling job. You know what they told him? A fullback in the pro game who can catch the ball and run and block is very valuable. You know, watching him play, he's a valuable back.
Second down. They need just to cross the 50-yard line for the first down. John Vaughn has the first down as he goes into Ole Miss territory at the 47, and Doug Jacobs is there to knock his feet out from under him. Asked Coach Moeller who Ole Miss reminded him of, and he said as far as scheme that he reminded him of Maryland. But one of the things that both he and his defensive coordinator Lloyd Carr talked about was the effort by Ole Miss. And he said, you know, it sounds like just coaches talk, but he said they play so very hard, and we're trying to explain to our team that they will just keep on coming deep into the fourth quarter. Flea flicker. Gerback gonna go long. Ole Miss has got double coverage back there. Tipped in the air and knocked away. Tyrone Ashley, I believe, is the man who tipped it, as the Mississippi secondary was not fooled at all.
Well, Michigan's going for the throat, and I don't blame them. They're running the ball effectively. The flea flicker here happened too fast. Everybody was ready to bite, but the ball was lateraled so fast that they really didn't have time to bite on the play, and Desmond Howard really wasn't able to set up the play enough. He handed it to him. They lateraled back before they even had time to go for the fake.
Didn't sell it.
Didn't sell the old play. Here we go. You know, it's very tough. This no huddle is tough because the receivers are coming on. You don't know which guy's leaving the field. You got an illegal. No, they're all set here. 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back.
Hit in the backfield, and for the first time today, Ole Miss will drop Michigan for a loss as Vaughn is tackled by Pritchett, who is back in the ball game. And Big Kelvin knocks him down for a loss of about 3.
Well, everyone knows Kelvin Pritchett, their all-SEC player, has to have a good game. This time he's going through the tight end. Diebold is trying to cut him off, but he plays him off with his outside shoulder, keeps leverage, and gets Vaughn in the backfield.
For Michigan, third down, and the line to make is the Mississippi 37.
Ole Miss secondary is confused.
Gets it out complete to his running back, who is going to be knocked out of bounds. Check it. That's Yale Van Dyne, who had just come into the ballgame, number 34, and Jeff Carter rode him out of bounds, and he's 5 yards short of the first down.
Everybody likes to say, now, why would you throw this pass short of the first down? Why don't you throw the ball at least first down distance? Well, the reason was the Ole Miss secondary had everybody covered. That's who he had to throw the ball to. It was either that or try to force one down and get it picked off. You got to give the defense credit sometimes.
Eddie Escona, first time that he has punted today. Sandrone is the deep man for Ole Miss. And this kick, and this is what I was talking about, into the wind. That thing just got up there and like it hit a wall. Fair catch is made at the 14-yard line. 7-0, Michigan leads. Happy New Year, everybody. Ole Miss taking the football over at the 14-yard line after stopping Michigan on that last series. And the big stop was Pritchard dropping the running back for a loss. As Ole Miss will keep it on the ground, and they will go for a gain of about 4 on the play. That's Thigpen. He's a senior out of Drew, Mississippi. And if that city rings a bell, the marvelous redhead from Drew, Archie Manning from that same city.
Well, Ole Miss needs a drive right here. Now watch, last time they shifted, this time they're going to get in a 2-point stance, and they quick snap it. That's what Michigan has to face with that shifting line. Gives you one more advantage.
On the second and short, option pass is thrown complete to Owens, and he will have the first down out across the 30, and they'll mark him down at the 35-yard line. 15 yards on the play.
Another phase of option football is being able to start out with an option and then be able to throw the ball. The lineman, the protection is very easy. They even cross the guard and the tackle to make it look more and more like a run. And Luke puts the ball on the money. Not a particularly pretty throw, but the guy was wide open. Option football gives you that advantage.
They counter the option. Here comes the pitch late. That's Baldwin. And he is close to an Ole Miss first down. That's a gain of 9. One of the things that Red Parker told us, he said, we can't be a standing, consistent target for Michigan. We got to change things up constantly.
And Red, reason is this. Chris Hutchinson, the Michigan, this guy's a super player. He missed about 5 games because of a back this year, and that's when Michigan's defense kind of took a dive during the middle of the season. He's back, he's healthy now, and he's just an effing player. They say he reminds them of Mark Messman, their great All-American here.
He was a difference when he went down with his injury and missed a couple of games. Michigan really felt the effects. Baldwin stumbles, but he's going to have the first down. To further the point of what Red was talking about, he said, we'll throw the ball, then we'll boot, play action, we'll do the 3-step and the 5-step, so then we'll roll the pocket, and then we'll counter with the option.
Yeah, that's before he starts drawing them on the dirt. That's in the second half.
Oh, my.
This is the drive they need, though. It's only 7-0. No reason to panic. Yes, Michigan has pushed them around the field, but it's time for this Ole Miss offense to get a drive and at least get a field goal. I don't know about a field goal. Maybe a touchdown.
Reverses out on the pass. Has his man open. It's Camp Roberts, the tight end. Inside the 30 and down to the 28. And Luke took a pretty good shot. He was sandwiched just as the ball was thrown, and one of the people was Chris Hutchinson.
Well, he's going to get to know Chris Hutchinson very well. He's going to get hit by him all the time. You got people come from the outside. This time, Camp Roberts, another play-action pass. You know, Red Parker, the coordinator, said, hey, we don't have great receivers. We have to put the ball right there. He gets it from behind and in front. That's how you get it.
That's key, the corner. They were bringing a corner blitz.
But Hutchinson from behind.
Thigpen straight ahead. So Ole Miss comes back with a little belly series here. He'll have about 4.5 yards. Osmond, the nose guard, is there to make the stop.
Luke got hit pretty bad on that play, and Shows came in for that one play. Luke's back out there. This is an impressive drive. This is what they needed. You know,
interesting thing, both of these youngsters, Luke and Shows, both of their fathers played football at Ole Miss. Second generation. Baldwin, where can he go? No place. And the errant pitch for the second time in the ball game by Luke has cost the Rebels and cost them dearly. That's a loss of 10 yards in the play, as Baldwin just didn't have any place to go.
It was actually set up very well, too. I know Luke is upset with this pitch. He comes down, he sells the fullback, and there it is. Hutchinson again gets on him, forces a bad pitch, and he had it. If he'd have just led him the perfect way, he got a play.
You take Hutchinson out of this ball game for Michigan, I think Ole Miss might have already scored.
Well,
it's like either that or they got more than 197 on that defense.
And you know, Michigan said that's been their problem when they took a nosedive, and I think I can understand now why after watching them play.
Luke's pass just overthrown at the 10-yard line, and it's going to bring up a 4th down situation. And Russ Shows, I beg your pardon, had just come back in the ball game, and it was Russ who threw the pass. So it's going to be a 4th down situation. And Brian Lee, the place kicker, will come on. Now, we were not exaggerating when we said he had been 0 for October, November, and December, because the last one that he kicked was the last weekend in September. This is going to be a 51-yard attempt, and he does have the breeze behind him.
I'm really surprised about this. I think they should be
He's got the distance, and he's good. That's a way to break a drought, and that's the reason he didn't punt, Gary. 51 yards.
You know, when you can't make a 3-foot putt, you back up to about 20 feet and you just roll one right in. Maybe that's the strategy.
So Brian Lee breaks out of his slump with a 51-yarder, and Ole Miss is on the scoreboard. We'll be right back. Looking back at the 1958 Gator Bowl, Ole Miss versus the University of Florida. Pass interception on this play by number 16, Billy Brewer, one of only 4 men to have played and coached in the Gator Bowl. Oh, that also one of the teams that Billy played on there for Ole Miss, and in fact he wore the same number as the Ole Miss kicker, number 16, was selected as the SEC Team of the Decade, which speaks very highly for the wealth of talent on that football team. Desmond Howard from the goal line gets tripped up at the 25, and he'll take it out to the 30. And Gary, if they don't get a hand on him, it's Dwayne Amos. He might still be running.
That's right. It was Dwayne Amos. He's the one that got beat for a touchdown. Well, he just saved one right there.
He sure did.
That's all he got was his shoelace right there.
By the way, that's a Mazda Gator Bowl record, that 51-yard field goal by Mr. Lee.
Well, I'll tell you, you missed 7 straight field goals going into this game, and then you make a 51-yarder.
You know, we talked in the pregame, though. Ole Miss was warming up the other way. And psychologically, I mean, the ball wasn't going very well because kicking into the wind. So.
I'm giving up on strategy. I'm going to just stick with the pick. What I see on TV here.
Anthony. Good heavens, he breaks it out after being collared, and he is all the way down inside the 35-yard line. Kevin Ingram saved a touchdown for Ole Miss. That is a gain of 37 yards.
John Vaughn, he was Olympic junior Olympic sprinting champion. He runs under 10.500. Look at him. He reads his blocking, bust out to the left. Ole Miss must tackle. They're spotting enough already. If they mess up and let people get big plays out of nothing, they're in for a long day. John Vaughn, super run.
Peters comes in the ball game, replacing him. Peters will have 4 yards as he's in the vicinity of the 26. Philip Kent is there to make the stop. Ricky Powers, freshman from Akron, Ohio.
I don't think there's no reason to be panicked yet for Ole Miss, but this no-huddle offense really has kept them off balance. They don't feel comfortable out there. I don't think they've seen it, and Michigan is running the ball at will.
Powers again tries to get it to the outside and just weaves his way behind that massive humanity up front, and he's close to another first down. You know, that has to be excruciating as far as just if you're a defensive coordinator like Robert Henry, you say, you know, we're trying to run our techniques and do what we can properly, but they're just muscling and muscling.
Yeah, it's disheartening. Here they're going to try to make a late substitution. Very, very tough.
Artis Ford, one of the players to check in the ball game with a third down at about a half yard for Michigan. And Michigan swings it out of the backfield, and no one's out there to cover Powers. Able to have the first down inside the 15. Chris Mitchell made the hit.
Mitchell on the stop for Ole Miss. First down, Michigan.
3rd and inches. Michigan throwing a pass, a flare pass. That's going to catch you. That one you don't expect. I'll tell you right here. Everybody's ready for the inside play. He goes back. This is the only person he was going to throw to. Desmond Howard just took it long. One-on-one. Pick up the easy first down.
Ford and Lentz come back out of the ball game. They had checked in as Ole Miss looked for the short yardage situation. Vaughn cuts it back against the grain. Going to be hit as he will not reach the 11-yard line. Philip Kent, again, there to make the stop for Ole Miss. Boy, he had a good year. Had a broken arm and did have to miss some time. He's only a junior. They'll get him back next year.
Yeah, 10 sacks on the team, their leading sack man. There you see him. They're calling the plays right there from the sideline. He signals them in. He kind of half yells them in. Sometimes he sends them in with a player. But no huddle for Michigan so far today.
Second down. The line to make for Michigan is the 5. Vaughn goes for a couple. He'll take it inside the 10, around the 8-yard line. Victor Lester, right here in Jacksonville, Florida. He's a senior. Made the stop for Ole Miss. Total yardage in the ball game so far, 231 yards for Michigan, and Ole Miss has yet to hit the century mark.
This is the spot on the field when you watch Michigan play. They like to throw the slant pass or the fade to the wide receivers. It's a play where either one is on. They read the technique and they'll either run the slant or the fade pass. Today, though, I wouldn't be surprised the way they're running the ball. They're just jamming up in there.
Gerbach swings it out, has it to Bunch, his fullback, and he'll score.
Great read by Gerbach here. He had both wide receivers to the wide side of the field. He looked to his left. He had the safety going that way. He goes back to the back on the outside. Look at wide open. He's got the big guy right inside the pylon.
J.D. Carlson to attempt the extra point. He's perfect this year, 43 of 43. And make it 44. 4 minutes, 19 seconds left until halftime, and Michigan up by 11. Happy New Year, everybody. Ron Franklin, along with Gary Danielson and Dr. Jerry Punch at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. And this 46th Mazda Gator Bowl right now seeing Michigan leading 14-3 as defensively they have really put a clamp on the Ole Miss offense. This is Ashley from the 10. Hurdles a man out over the 30, and Ole Miss will have decent field position up around the 33-yard line as Curtin Mallory is there to make the stop.
Well, Gerbach gets a touchdown pass and Bunch gets the TD, but here's the reason. Tom Doring, left tackle, he walls him off, gives him a little shove. That's what you got to have, that little mean streak. That's what gives you great protection. That's what allows Gerbach to look to his left, says, doesn't look good over there. Let me go back to the fullback over here, a little flat pass, 7 points.
Tom Luke obviously is okay because the youngster from Gulfport will come back out to guide this attack. He came in and out as he alternated with Schals on that last series after he got hit. As the pitch comes back to Baldwin, and they finally get Randy free for more than double figures on the play. It's his longest run of the afternoon. It's going to be 13 yards.
The option depends on people doing their job. First along the line, everybody's got to fold down. The tight end, Ty J. Armstrong, number 81, comes out. A good pitch. There's 4 or 5 phases that all have to fit, and when you do it right, you get a very successful play. But something goes wrong, a bad pitch. It's a mistake-prone offense, and if you run it right, you're rewarded. And you make a mistake, you're moved back.
Luke, play action, tries to reverse it, and there is nothing there as David Key, the left side corner. He's a senior from Columbus, Ohio. He started 35 straight games for the Wolverines, and he messes the play up. He also has had a very good game, along with Chris Hutchinson for Michigan.
You know, Ron, I've done a year of college football right now, and if somebody would ask me what's the big difference between the pro game and the college game, I think it's the hash. That allows those corners on that weak safety blitz, that weak corner blitz. They cheat in there. They make so many plays in this game.
Randy Baldwin, boy, he gets tagged. He will not pick up the amount that was lost just a moment ago, and it's going to be a third down situation as Milligan, one of the inside backers, along with Mike Evans, there defensively. So the situation, Ole Miss trailing 14-3, and we have now gone under 3 minutes left until halftime. And Red Parker looks at a deal where he's got a third down, and they need the Michigan 44-yard line. Luke sets up the middle screen. It is caught, and guess who messes it up? Hutchinson is right there in the hole, and Chris is shaken up. The play well conceived, and Courtney all of a sudden had a Michigan headgear all over him, and it's Hutchinson, and he's injured.
It's like he twisted his ankle or something like that. This guy, what a smart player. Comes in, first he's going to rush the passer. When he ran into the back, that's what gave him the key that it might be something happening right there. And there you saw how he twisted his knee, falling over Courtney.
Well, he had him down. He was going to try to pin him. That's what he hurt himself.
What a game he's had.
Desmond Howard, the deep man, is Childers to punt from the 30-yard line, averaging just over 35 yards per kick. Howard gets by one, will not get by the second as a flag comes down. And Michigan, it looks as though, is going to be scrimmaging from deep in their own territory as Jody Hill was there on the special teams for the Rebs.
Flag on the field.
2:23 left until halftime. Michigan 14-3.
You're in the run back against Michigan.
And it looks like Desmond Howard has injured a knee. Hutchinson on one play, and now Howard. Storyline so far: Howard of Michigan, 63-yard touchdown reception. Lee of Ole Miss, the 51-yard field goal. That's a career long for him. Gerback of Michigan, 8 of 11, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, and rushing yardage, Ole Miss only 37 yards, and Michigan 99.
99 yards doesn't seem like a lot, but they've been making in 4- and 5-yard chunks, and they've been mashing them. There you see Chris still limping on the sideline. Got a feeling he might be back, though. He's the type of player he is. But they've just dominated them on the offensive line. I mean, there's been no secret about it.
That's been the difference, and that's one of the things that Billy Brewer and also Red Parker, or actually
Robert Henry
talks so much about. Ball is fumbled, and Michigan recovers. And boy, Michigan dodged a giant one right there, because if he puts it on the ground and Ford makes the recovery after making that tackle, Ole Miss is certainly out of that one with 3 points.
Well, that's what they need. They need another big turnover, another mistake by Michigan. No big play here right now. You get the hand on the ball, make a play, make something happen, a fumble or something like that. That can get them back in the football game.
Gerback rolls the pocket to the right, throws it complete wide open as Van Dyne. And that is enough for the Wolverine first down out across the 25.
Little fake pitch. Look back. He had Alexander coming on a comeback. Van Dyne coming across the middle of the field, puts it right on the money. I'd like to say they're in the hurry up, but they run this offense the whole time anyway.
Clock continues to run with 1 minute and 30 seconds left until halftime. Quick out pass caught again by Van Dyne. And let's go down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Yeah, this is the part I like, the good news coming from the bench. The Michigan bench, Desmond Howard, we are told he just simply bumped his right elbow. Actually, they call it the funny bone, of the ulnar nerve underneath the elbow here. He is back on the field and going to play right now. Simply a lot of numbness and tingling down the arm that has gone away. Also, Desmond Howard hyperextended his right ankle. He is walking around and should be back in the game on defense. Gentlemen?
Okay, thanks, Jerry. Howard, 2 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown. pass over the middle. Oh my goodness, what a hit on Desmond Howard. Kevin Pritchett is the man who made the stop for the Rebels. And then now Michigan is going to call timeout to stop the clock with 1:12 left until halftime.
That was a new wrinkle by Michigan right there. It's that play that we've seen the Rocket run, a little screen to the wide receiver coming underneath the lineman. It was read real well by the Ole Miss defense, and no gain.
So there's timeout on the field. Let's take it with them. We'll be right back to Jacksonville after this. Welcome back to foggy Jacksonville. It's trying to get a little bit lighter. We had heavy rains last night. 2 days ago, record high temperatures, 83, 84 degrees. And today, very cool and damp. Temperature in the upper 50s. Draw play by Vaughn. Crosses midfield, and he is down to the Ole Miss 47-yard line. Jeff Carter is there to make the stop defensively.
Ball on the carry brought down by
And now
Carter.
Michigan with the hurry up as the change move, and the clock will not start just yet. Michigan trying to get it in field goal range. The longest by Carlson this year, their field goal kicker, is 51 yards. But into this win, I think they're going to have to get it a little closer than that. Pass caught for the tight end, D-Bolts. Inside the 40 and down to the 39. You look at Billy Brewer on the sideline and his defensive charges on the field, knowing full well that the last thing that they can afford to do is give up a field goal right here before halftime and fall behind by 14 points. Gary Moeller studies the clock. See, Michigan still has, and I look at the big board, they still have 2 timeouts remaining.
Plenty of time. That's not a big factor with those 2 timeouts. You know, Gary's done such a nice job with this offense this year. I mean, they do have the ability to mash on you and just run the ball, but he throws in the wild card of throwing the ball, the play action passes, hitting the backs out of the backfield. Now you just don't know where to stand, and then put on top of that the no huddle where you can't substitute when you want to. He's got a very dynamite offense.
Well, that is a very telling story right there. 4+ yards, 13 of the 19 times that Michigan has snapped it this afternoon. It shows the devastation of that offensive line. Ole Miss coming with an all-out blitz, and they set screen to the near side. And Gary, for the most part, they had the right situation. I mean, with that situation, the right play call.
Yeah, Gary Abide came in there to put a little bit of pressure on him, and he had to lob the ball over there to try to get him on the screen. But if you hit a screen against a blitz and you pick off the guy that's covering him,
the guy that's covering it,
just change the scoreboard. You don't even have to watch him go down the field.
So it stops the clock with 41 ticks left until halftime. It is 3rd down Michigan, and they still need about 2.5 yards for the first.
Michigan with 3 wideouts, a tight end, and a running back. No fullback in the game.
Ole Miss comes with the pressure again. The quick looking pass. Oh, what a stick by Chauncey Godwin. That is the kind of football that Ole Miss has played all year. And Godwin picked a good time to tip his hat on that one.
4th down situation here. It's about 3 or 4 yards. I think they'll go for it. Here it is. Quick slant. Michigan likes to run this play. Inside technique by Godwin. Times it up just right and causes the fumble with the big hit right there. You know, as a corner, you got to use everything you can, and you got to put your helmet on his face. They're going to go for it. 4th down.
Short drop, quick out pass, overthrown. Alexander had not yet turned around, and Ole Miss will take it over with 34 ticks left on the clock until halftime.
Big stop. They couldn't afford to have him back in there. They're still in this football game 14-3. They got to go back, get used to the no-huddle offense a little bit, and regroup a little bit. Now, for Ole Miss, 34 seconds. They got timeouts. If they're going to go for it, they got to make it happen way down the field. They want to throw the ball down there, so if it's intercepted, happen down on the 35, 30, 25-yard line. I hate to see them throwing it on their own 40 and make a turnover in their own end of the field.
Armstrong comes out of the lineup. Russ Showers sets to throw, runs up into the pocket, and Russ is going to be sacked at the 35, and it's Martin Davis. That's the 3rd sack by Michigan of Ole Miss quarterbacks in this half.
Well, the Michigan defense led the Big Ten this year with 39 sacks. And they're doing it again today.
Ole Miss with the no huddle, and you can see the game clock coming down.
Be careful here.
Zips it out, has it complete to Holder, and that is up to 46.
Michigan's going to give you that one. 7 seconds to go. Their only chance to score now is to throw one in the opposite end zone. They got anybody on this football team that can throw the ball 70 yards?
I think Schaus probably would volunteer. Ole Miss calls a timeout with 7 seconds left. And let's talk about some comparisons of the SEC and also the Big Ten. SEC leads 12-4 as far as head-to-head bowl competition. Michigan 1-1 against the SEC. Lost in that Sugar Bowl meeting with Auburn in '84. Won over Alabama in the Hall of Fame game in '88. Ole Miss has never met a Big Ten team in a bowl. In fact, as we mentioned off the top of the telecast, you have to go all the way back to the 30s. The last time that the Rebels played a team for the Big Ten.
Let's set it up here again. They've got about 54 yards to get something in the end zone right here. They're going to have to throw the ball and go for one of those tip passes, the old Big Pen play. Let her rip way down the field.
Eddie Small and Derek Owens have come in at wide receiver for Ole Miss.
Usually there's like a tight end or somebody that can throw the ball the farthest. They're the guys that can rip at 80 yards, and they always go, come on, why can't you throw the ball that far? I don't know, but why are you tackling and blocking as a tight end?
Timeouts remaining. Ole Miss has one. Russ Schaus, the sophomore from Senatobia, steps up, gets it away long, and it is complete to Camp Roberts at the 31-yard line. And let's see if there's going to be any time left. And the officials are saying, Ole Miss coaches are protesting. They're saying that there should be 1 tick left on the clock.
Everybody's holding up one finger, see if they can get one more play off here. With 1 second to go, they'd have a shot at a field goal.
Billy Brewer is out on the field. And he is discussing it with Buddy Ward.
I'll tell you,
the referee.
I don't think they usually don't change these things. When that goes to 0-0, they're not going to review it or change it. Let's take a look if there was 1 second on this play. They threw a deep out pass. 4 seconds to go. 3 seconds.
Caught it at 2.
Catch it.
Oh my goodness, there's 1 second left. Coach Brewer is right.
His knee is down. There it is. 1 second to go.
Well, let's go down to the field, and Jerry Punch is with Coach Brewer right now.
Coach, when it showed that last completion, it looked like you just about might have had a second.
We did have 1 second. The timekeeper that keeps the clock was by me. He said we had 1 second on the clock. He's walking down the sideline trying to tell the official, the referee, that we did have 1 second on the clock, which meant that we had an attempt for a field goal possibly. But it just didn't work out.
Coach, a bit concerned before the game about the size differential up front, particularly their offense and your defense. How do you counteract their bulliness inside?
Well, we needed the weather, and the condition is a factor. They're getting tired, but they're knocking us around. They're controlling the line of scrimmage, and there's not much we can do about it. But we just got to keep hanging in there and play hard in the second half and make things happen in the fourth quarter.
Coach, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Coach Billy Brewer, the head football coach here at Ole Miss University. His team trails by 11 points at the half.
Very much. You're exactly right. In fact, that's what Gary said off the top of the telecast today, and one of the points that he was making, and the size of the offensive line of Michigan, and the fact that these guys have been together for so long and have played. In fact, Coach Moeller said he was as proud of this part of his football team as any that he had been around ever. And it's witness to the fact, Billy Brewer said it at the end of the half. He said, we're getting beaten in the middle, and we can't do much about it right now.
The way to measure a good running attack is by 4-yard runs. Michigan has run the ball 19 times in the first half. 14 of the 19 plays, they gained more than 4 yards. That's an incredible stat.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights, and it really accentuates what has happened up front, and one of the reasons that in the numbers, Michigan has dominated.
Well, Desmond Howard got the first touchdown, but you run, you hit the play-action pass. This time he fakes a little out move, and he goes deep. Dwayne Amos bites on the play. He had a little guy in his face, but Gerback makes the play. Watch Desmond Howard now. He goes for the ankles. He just kicks it up, gives him a little Anthony Carter into the end zone, 7-0. You know, they had the second drive of the day. They ran the ball down again, but then on third down they tried to pass this time. It could have been 14-0 very easily, but Tyrone Ashley, the nickel back, is going to come in from the bottom, the left-hand side of your screen. Gerback does not see him. He sees D-Bolt wide open over the middle. He throws the touchdown, or what he thinks is a touchdown, and he comes up with a big INT, a big defensive play for the Ole Miss defense. Kept them in the plays.
Did Ole Miss, but 4 downs and out. They were unable to take advantage of that situation. And this run right here, witness to the job done by the offensive line.
Oh, yeah, they've been blocking. They work so well together. Vaughn sees the plays, goes in, goes out, and he runs. He's a sprinter-type speed, averaging over 6 yards a carry. He's the Big Ten player there, and you can see why. He had a great offense.
Gary, if you're Billy Brewer and the Ole Miss staff, what did you talk about at halftime, and what do you do in the second half to gain some momentum back?
I tell our guys we're in this ball game. Michigan lost 3 football games this year. In each of those games, Notre Dame, Michigan State, and Iowa, they had 14 points scored on them in the fourth quarter. Ole Miss is still in this football game. You know, they're getting pushed around. The stats don't look good. They only got three first downs in the first half. But they've got to look at it and say, hey, it's 14-3. We're not about to get up out of this football game.
First half stats, speaking of the numbers, this is what they look like. Passing yardage, Ole Miss 76 yards, 169. When is the last time Michigan threw 18 passes in a first half?
Right, they're averaging 22 a game for the season.
123 yards total yards for Ole Miss, and 273 for the Michigan Wolverines.
I think the big stack there is 23 rushes for Ole Miss. They attempted 23 times, gained only 47 yards, only about a 2-yard average.
Well, one of the things also that the Rebels have prided themselves on, as you look at the Wolverines coming back onto the field for the second half, is fourth quarter play, conditioning, and execution. In fact, that's one of the things that Billy Brewer talked to me long and hard about day before yesterday at practice. So your point is well taken. They're not out of the football game, but they got to make something good happen for themselves, which has not really been the case in the first half.
Well, they got a little bit of a bad break at the end of the half. They did have 1 second to attempt another field goal. Schaus may come. We may see a little bit more of him. They have not been able to run the ball.
You think so? But he is the passing quarterback.
He's the guy that can throw the ball a little bit, and maybe if they loosen him up, they have a chance to throw the ball.
So here at the Mazda Gator Bowl, the 46th Mazda Gator Bowl, it is the University of Michigan leading Ole Miss by a score of 14-3. And in team comparisons, as far as looking at that first 30 minutes. And let's go down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Coach, your kids played awfully well in the first half. The running game, very potent.
Well, yeah, we got to get more points on the board. I was very disappointed. Now we're getting a lot of major penalties at key times that are keeping us from scoring, and I'm a little frustrated with that.
Any adjustments at halftime? Any major concerns in the second half?
No, not a lot. We're going to do a couple things different, but no great deal. Just, the fundamentals of blocking and tackling are still the key.
Coach, good luck to you. Coach Gary Moeller brings his Wolverines back on the field ahead by 11 points. Ron?
All right, thanks, Jared. Key to the second half, Ole Miss must find some offense. They've either got to throw the ball or run the ball, and they've got to be a little bit more comfortable with that no-huddle Michigan offense. If Ole Miss can stop them a couple times, throw a touchdown on the board, the fourth quarter could turn it around. For Michigan, just more of the same. Run, and give them a little play-action pass. Ron?
Okay, Gary, both teams back out on the field and preparing to start this one off in the third quarter, as Ole Miss will be kicking off to the Michigan Wolverines, trailing by 11 points.
Rebels will kick it off to begin the
I'm going to get somebody to hand me my glasses over there, or Gary can do the second half. There we go. Thank you. High end of our end kick is going to come down to the 25-yard line. And that's Bernie Leggett who will bring it out to the 35, and that's where Michigan will scrimmage to open the second half. Team comparisons, 9-2 for Ole Miss, 8-3 for Michigan. And you'd look at the bowl teams that they played, 4-3 for the Wolverines. Loss of those 3 games by a total of 6 points. Ole Miss 0-2 against bowl teams.
And again, as we mentioned before, they lost them by a total of 3 points. And in each one of those fourth quarters, the offense for the other team, Notre Dame, Iowa, and Michigan State, scored 14 points. So this game is far from over.
John Vaughn will open the second half at tailback, and it's Philip Kent, the junior from Jackson, who comes up to make the hit for Ole Miss.
Right off, you've seen Ole Miss has adjusted. They put 5 people
on the line. They had their hands down. They had 2 linebackers, and they had an 8th man up there near the line of scrimmage. That's what they really need to do. They need to get that 8th guy nearer the line of scrimmage to help on that running game.
See Desmond Howard and Derek Alexander flipping sides, the wide receivers, although they are in a no-huddle situation. Pitch, and they're going to run the reverse with Howard. Gets a block on the outside, and Mitchell will knock him out of bounds at the 43-yard line.
This is about as much fun as you can have as a quarterback. A little bit of a reverse action. You make the pitch, and then you get an opportunity to do something that everybody gets to do to you. You get to blindside someone. Watch Elvis Gerback, number 15 right here. He goes out of your picture, but he's going to come back in, and he's going to get the block on the outside backer right there to spring Desmond Howard. You get him real low, a little shoe duster. That's what you call him. You don't get hurt. You just dust their shoes and make them do end-over-end flips.
John Vaughn knocked out of bounds right there on the Michigan bench, and now a flag comes in. And it looks like Ole Miss is going to be guilty of the hit out of bounds. Jeff Carter was still coming on the play.
Yeah, that's one of those plays.
Dead ball. Personal foul against Mississippi.
If you're going to hit somebody out of bounds, you got to do it on your own sideline right there. There's just too many guys on the other team that's going to be yelling at the referee and getting in his ear. There you see Vaughn's going to take it outside. Gets around to the outside, and right on the white right there, he puts the helmet in there, and you know you've got 45 to 50 guys in the referee's ear to call it late hit, and you're going to get 15 tagged on.
So Michigan had gained about 9 on the play, now tack 15 more on, and they have a first down at the Ole Miss 21-yard line. Play action by Gerback, and he is going for Alexander in the end zone. Dropped it. Fell down, and just as he hit the ground, the ball hit in his chest and then came out.
What a smooth move by Alexander right there. Gave a little shake to the post route. He was wide open. Ashley, number 33, tried to cut in under the throw, and Gerback put it right there just a little bit short, and Alexander stumbled trying to come back for the throw. He waited, little corner out. Ashley tries to cut underneath. The ball is there, and when Alexander lost his feet, that's when he really lost the catch.
Well, it's just as his back hits the turf, that's when it comes out of his hand. Bunch is the lone setback this time as Michigan goes with 3 wideouts. And they go with Bunch, and he will score. A flag has been thrown in the middle, and let's check it. That is thrown by the umpire, and that could be offensive holding.
Holding against Michigan.
The third holding call by the offensive line. This time they spread it out, and they run it right up the gut. Middle of your screen. The center is who they call it on, Steve Everett. He pushes with his hands. That's who they call it on. Kind of a iffy call right there. You're allowed to push inside. You just can't
I think
grab.
it's when he locked it. Yeah, when he locked it up over the shoulder. That's when the official, the umpire is the man who's in the middle, and that's when he started reaching for the flag.
What a call, though. How tough must this be to defense and offense like this? First of all, they can mash it on you, but they just don't mash it.
Against the bench.
Now the bench. It looks like Coach Mueller has just picked up an unsportsmanlike as they had marked off the 10-yard holding, and now they're marking off 15 more. Well, so the original line of scrimmage to the 21. And Gary, I'm having trouble figuring out here. Help me, Ed.
I'll tell you.
It's back to the 41-yard line. I thought it should be the 46-yard line. Holding should be previous spot. That's 10 yards. That's 31. And then 15 yards for unsportsmanlike. And they have just moved it now back to the 46.
This has gotten to be kind of a tradition in Michigan, getting these unsportsmanlike conduct calls. Bo had his last one last year.
Well, I'll tell you what, they got a bit of a reprieve because this one is a 13-yard penalty. On the 31, they've got it on the 44 now. It should be the 46-yard line.
Well, that's that Southern hospitality that they're going to 2 yards.
Michigan sets a screen to the left side. It'll go incomplete. John Vaughn is the man they wanted.
You know, if you don't read it's a screen and you get caught up in there, you have to still come. Maybe you can force a bad throw. That's what Pritchett does this time, number 92 from the top of your screen. He comes, he puts pressure on him, he makes him alter the throw just enough, and Vaughn can't make the catch. They had it set up pretty well, but he had to rush it.
Adam Pritchard, the coaches say that he has really helped himself as far as the draft with his work ethic change, and it has really done quite a bit of that as far as in practice this year. He's worked very hard. Elvis looking long, and that ball is overthrown at the 15-yard line. Danny Boyd, number 6, had to cover on the play, and now it is 4th down Michigan. They had a 1st and 10 at the 21 just a moment ago.
Again, as a quarterback, the zone gives you some openings, but you have to get the ball there on the time. This time, Gerbach's a little late with this throw. Danny Boyd, the up corner, comes back and drops into the throw. He's open for a second, but Elvis was a little late with the throw to the deep corner.
Escana with the punt, looking for the corner, and he may have angled this one a little too much. That one is going to be spotted out of bounds up around the 28-yard line. So let's take a timeout. Part of the beautiful downtown area of Jacksonville, Florida. We've had a great time down here at this 46th Mazda Gator Bowl. Right now, Ole Miss trailing by 11 and looking to get some offense going as Luke will take it forward on the keeper just across the 30. And let's go down to the good doctor, Jerry.
A lot of people will know who this guy is. Trip Welburn, consensus All-American strong safety for Michigan. And Trip, you played in 10 of the 11 games, but in that Minnesota game, that 31-yard punt return was an undoing.
Yes, this is true, but I mean, God always has a will for those who go out and support him, and I'm one of those cases, and it just happened to happen. It's a football game, and those things happen in football.
Your colleagues playing pretty tough on defense today.
Oh, yeah, they're playing great. I mean, I don't think they could have played any better with me in there. It'd probably been worse because I'd have probably been making mistakes, you know, but I mean, I have my roommate in there taking out for me, Otis Williams, and the rest of the guys are playing with great emotion. And it's exciting just to be here and be able to watch it.
Trip Welburn, a class football player, gentlemen, on the sidelines. He'll be in that pro draft come spring.
Thank you, gentlemen. Best of luck to him, and he will go very high in that NFL draft. It's interesting the fact that Otis is his roommate. You have to wonder, Williams would start for a lot of teams, but he has not started because of Trip Welburn. And when you play behind an All-American, that's a price you pay.
All-American and their MVP this year.
Yeah. First down pass is caught on the near sideline, and stepping out of bounds is Brownlee, just about at midfield. That's a gain of 13. Now let's look at the Ole Miss possessions. 9 plays in an opening drive, and they wound up having to punt. Then they lose it on downs. They went on the 4th down play in the next one. That after the interception, then a punt, field goal, punt, and then halftime. Gary can tell you right now, number 97, Hutchinson, has not started the second half.
Right, number 59, Alex Marshall's in there for him, and that's a big loss for this Michigan team.
That's Thigpen who takes it straight ahead. Because we mentioned in the first half, in fact, I jokingly said that they have more than one number 97. And I certainly don't mean anything about Alex Marshall. It's just the fact that Hutchinson had just been everywhere. And Michigan's coaches had said that when Hutchinson went down during the regular season, that they could tell such a dropping off as far as effort. So let's see if Ole Miss can find it that way in the third quarter. Option play by Luke. Ball is fumbled, and Michigan has recovered at the 50-yard line.
Ole Miss loves to run the ball into the sideline. They love to run the option, but this time it's Mike Evans, number 92. He doesn't get blocked on the option play. The tight end has to account for him. Number 88, Camp Roberts, missed his assignment on the option play. The defensive tackle is handled by the tight end, and you run the option off the outside linebacker. A miscommunication or a missed assignment caused the turnover.
Well, Ole Miss had just dodged a big one with the holding call and then the unsportsmanlike conduct call, and they were moving the ball as well as they have all day long, and they turn it over. Powers, little misdirection, gets by Pritchett. And number 75, Jim Lentz, the junior from Flemington, New Jersey, will grab a hold and knock him down shy of the 50.
Well, that was a great stop by the Ole Miss defense the last time Michigan had the ball. Of course, they did have the penalties that did the job. Let me show you how a turnover happens. You know, the quarterback is going to get blamed for this one on the option, but watch the missed assignment from the left side of your screen. Number 88 attempts to block the defensive tackle and then just turns him loose. The option should be run on the next guy outside, and he forces the bad pitch and the fumble.
Ole Miss showing blitz, and they do come from that right corner. Pass is thrown in that area to Desmond Howard. Hang on, he may go.
Desmond Howard, 50 yards, get it line.
$50 yards in the pass play, and again, we hear the victors from the Michigan marching band.
Wow. I mean, they hit the blitz. You're going to get man-to-man coverage, and he matches up with somebody, comes inside. There's the pass. Now watch the change of direction. Catches it, goes back. Todd Sandrani is left there standing, and look at the speed. If he doesn't remind you of Anthony Carter, I mean, that's who comes to mind right away. Never mind that he's in the Michigan uniform. That's who I think of.
J.D. Carlson makes it good with the extra point, and with 10:53 left in the third quarter, it is Michigan 21 and Ole Miss 3.
He came with the blitz. They gambled a little bit. Elvis Gerback goes to the easy throw. His big play receiver throws about a 6-7 yard pass. You don't have to throw the ball 80 yards against the blitz. You just have to get it to somebody on the run. When Desmond Howard gets it, he changes direction. Boom. That's what makes somebody overrun. Turns, and now watch the heels go up. Turns it to the inside from Cleveland St. Joseph High School. The Magic, Desmond Howard, turns it in to 7 points.
50 yards, and once he turned it north and south, it didn't take you very long to cover that 50 yards. Brownlee and Tyrone Ashley, the two deep men for Ole Miss. And the Rebs need something going here. In fact, they had it going just 2 plays earlier. They are moving the football, and they come up with the mistake on the offense. Put the ball on the ground. 2 plays later, Michigan turns it into a touchdown.
Just so hard. I tell you, every quarterback's dream. Oh, I'm forgetting. I'm waiting there. They're going to line up and kick off. They do that quick kickoff.
Penn State did this against Notre Dame, you remember. This is Ashley. Ashley up the sideline, has one man to beat. And he will return it across midfield to the 38-yard line. Juan Kemp made the stop, but it's a 53-yard return.
Well, great field position is what they need. Now they have to capitalize it. Tyrone Ashley, number 33. Remember, he had the interception early in the game. This time he picks up the kickoff. Apparently nobody was really confused. He goes by a couple people. Ron, this guy plays both ways. He was a wide receiver. He was moved to defensive back last spring. He still plays a little wide out. Tyrone Ashley, number 33.
In fact, they told us to keep an eye that at any time in the game, if you see 33 at wide receiver, don't be surprised. Pass almost intercepted. Wow. Martin Davis was the closest man to it. And Tom Luke looking over at the sideline, I'm sure he's asking himself, Tommy, who was I throwing that one to?
You know what you got to do as a quarterback right now? Don't make any eye contact with the guy who can change quarterbacks right now, because when you look at him after one of those throws, he may just decide to go with the other guy. You just hurry up, get the play, get back in the huddle. Tom Luke is a relief pitcher for the Auburn baseball team. For the Ole Miss baseball team. He broke his arm throwing in a relief pitching action, and he's really never been the same throwing since.
Came in relief for the Memphis State game, led him to victory. Said it reminded him of being a relief pitcher in baseball. Quick pass, incomplete as they wanted Derek Owens on the quick slant. So it's going to be a 3rd down, Ole Miss. 3rd down and 10. Red Parker.
Ole Miss offensive coordinator. This team is only throwing for about 164 yards a game this year. It's not a real big passing team, and of course, there you go. 3rd down, they're going to change quarterbacks and go with a new thrower.
Schaus with a 3rd down and 10. Going look long. Now he's going to run it. And I'll tell you what, Vincent Brownlee, I know he had his hands full, but Brownlee had broken clear on a post route.
Schaus comes in this time, doesn't really find anybody comfortable. He did have Brownlee down the middle. Apparently he wasn't in the first read or something like that. Didn't find anybody he wanted. Now Schaus is the wrong guy to scramble. He's rushed 54 times for about 80 yards this year. When he gets the ball, it really doesn't scare anybody on the scramble.
So with the 4th down, now Michigan was sending the trainer on the field. We don't see anybody down.
Just to give you an example of the part the wind plays in this game, looks like Ole Miss is going to punt the ball in this situation instead of going for the long field goal.
Childress has come in. The discussion continues. The trainer started out a couple of times, and it looks like, is it Eric Anderson, who is a little bit wobbly?
Nobody really knows. Everybody's kind of looking around. Even the coaches are looking around at each other, trying to figure out what's going on.
Now the 25-second clock, I think what they're doing is trying to let it run all the way down. Ole Miss still, it has just been whistled in because the trainer kept coming back and out in the back and forth in the field. They go ahead and snap it anyway, and they'll punt it away, and just going to punt it into the end zone.
Isn't that
and you hear the boos from the partisans across the way. It doesn't make a lot of sense not to angle it. Well, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Michigan 21-3 as we are just 5 minutes deep into this third quarter. Ron Franklin, Gary Danielson, and Dr. Jerry Punch. And we say to you and yours, very happy new year, 1991. John Vaughn is the only setback behind Gerbach. Go with a draw play to him. And he will take it out to the 23, and let's go down to Jerry Punch again.
Gentlemen, defensive tackle Chris Hutchinson from the Michigan Wolverines has not played yet in the second half, and the reason being, in the first half, remember, he hyperflexed his foot. Now, bringing his foot up and hyperflexing it, what he did is he pulled the gastrocnemius muscle, the big muscle which forms the majority of the calf here. It is tightened up on him. He is walking around the bench. I say it's doubtful we'll see him at all in the second half. Gentlemen?
Hey, nice socks there, right?
I think we just changed the rating of the show. They go with big Jared Bunch, the senior fullback out of Ashtabula, Ohio. Roger Hancock comes up defensively for Ole Miss to make the stop. And it looks like we're going to have a measurement. He's close to the first down, but officials, well, they put it down directly on the line, so that is enough. They will not measure.
Story of this football game, 2 reasons right here. This offensive line right here has them off balance. They're blocking, they're combination blocking. They work together for so many years. They're good players, and they're big players.
See Pete Harris making the hit there. This is a gutsy performance by him. Yesterday could hardly walk. He really irritated a hamstring. They're back in play action, and he is coming for his man again. Desmond Howard wide open at the 45-yard line. Dwayne Amos was trying to cover, and folks, I'll tell you what, he is so smooth and so quick. He is turning defensive backs completely in circles.
You're so right, and when you say he's so smooth, he makes his cuts at just full speed. Play action pass. John Vaughn, look, he runs the daylight. That's what he's supposed to do. That holds the secondary. Desmond Howard here is open by 20 yards on a deep 25-yard route. There you see Amos coming in. He had a man-to-man. That wasn't the safety coming over. That was his man on that play.
Maybe not 20, but a pretty good distance. 5 catches for 147 yards for him, and then they come back on the 1-2 punch as they go with John Vaughn, and he will go inside the 25 to the 24, and that is another Michigan first down. Chris Mitchell coming up in the secondary to make the hit.
No, they call him magic. He's always got that smile. He catches a pass, 147 yards on 5 catches. He caught the big play action pass with a touchdown, and then that little pass on the blitz where he had all that field to run in. But he catches the ball with space. He's very tough to bring down.
Bunch, the only man behind Elvis. Go back only a sophomore. Michigan will have him for a couple of more turns. Bunch.
Jared Bunch gets it up there. The offensive line, I mean, they are just manhandling these people. 290 pounds. They're averaging 6'4.5". Ole Miss's defensive front seven averaging about 245. There you see the difference. 45 pounds a man. The reason I think it's working, though, not only that, but they're able to throw the ball and mix it up. If you just grind it out, it's going to end up costing you in the long run. He's keeping them off balance, plus smash football.
Well, I've made the comment jokingly at halftime. When's the last time you saw Michigan throw 18 passes in the first half? But that's the reason for that. Vaughn will take it for 3, maybe 4 yards as he goes inside the 20.
And you have to give a lot of credit to Gary Moeller for doing this. You know, you leave yourself open to a lot of second guessing when you throw the ball when you're successful running it. A lot of the old-time coaches believe, you know, if you can run the ball, let's just keep running it. Gary's keeping them off balance. He's going to win the national championship someday with this offense.
You look at the play selection, and we talk about the way he has been mixing it up. 29 and 24. That's pretty close to 50-50. When I asked him which he had liked to see optimally, you know, he said 60-40.
That's what a lot of the coaches feel that is the best way to do it. 60-40, that's the perfect blend. I know as a quarterback that makes you feel good too, because you can mix up the play action pass in there, and it's so valuable when you have that weapon. Now they're going to go 2 tight ends, 2 backs, and 1 wide receiver.
As if they needed more power up front.
Like to run the slant down this area of the field.
Oh, good stick at the line of scrimmage. Pritchett came up, and that's a pretty good matchup right there with Bunch and Pritchett. A couple of real blue bloods, huh?
This time Pritchett wins, number 92. He's the captain. He's lined up at nose guard this time, and he puts it right on Bunch. The third team All-American, All-SEC. You know, he's got a great future ahead of him. He's going to go to the Senior Bowl, and that's where all the pro scouts are going to get a look at this guy and find out if he's a first, second, or third round. They don't make that many mistakes in the pro game.
33-yard field goal attempt coming up from J.D. Carlson. He is 16 of 25 of the year. This one hits a low line drive. He will not get it. So with 6:11 left in this third quarter, our score remains Michigan 21 and Ole Miss 3.
Field goal attempt. He was with the wind that time. He just didn't hit the ball underneath it enough to even use the wind. And Michigan again in that position to score points and don't put anything on the board.
So Tommy Luke comes back out on the field.
Let's take a look, see if anybody gets their hand on it maybe. I don't know. Looked like it was just a shank shot right to begin with. If anyone, it was Doug Jacobs, number 94, the 6'8", 280-pounder that might have got his paw on it.
Pass is thrown and pressure that time coming from the right side as Osmond, the nose guard. You can see that Tom is a little bit frustrated, and it's really hard to throw. Hard enough throwing going against the grain, against the body, let alone when you got somebody pressuring you from up the middle.
Right, and plus he's throwing against the wind right here. And remember, Ole Miss has thrown for about 164 yards, but most of that, I would believe, if you watch the film, comes within the option offense when they're keeping people off balance. They've got to get that option game going a little bit.
Pass thrown complete, Derek Owens. And it looked like virtually the same pass play, same route.
Well, you don't get it the first time, 2 tries. I was always better on those mulligan putts. You know, those 3-footers, you come back and try it again, you always make it.
The guy that plays behind you. Always a little better, aren't you?
We're making light here. I mean, they're going against the wind, 6 minutes to go. They've got to have a touchdown in this quarter. They need to get back in this ball game.
Owens 2 catches now for 25 yards. Luke, a couple of yards, but boy, those are tough ones. John Milligan, number 30, senior out of Trenton, Michigan, one of the team captains for the Wolverines, is there to make the stop. Luke he's been a step away a couple of times, but hasn't been able to break free.
You're right. John Milligan, he's missed 5 games this year with an ankle. That's another reason the Michigan defense had problems this year. When they lost him, they had to go to freshman players, DeBroff and Morrison, and they just really couldn't replace John Milligan for this Michigan defense.
Cranks it up, gonna go long. Looking for Small, and he's got it at the 37-yard line. Todd Plate makes the interception. I beg your pardon.
Michigan was in a zone. Todd Luke audible for a deep corner route, but no one held the corner. There you see number 6. He goes back with the pass. He cuts it off and makes just a super catch, taking that ball away from Eddie Small, the freshman.
I thought for the world that Small had made the catch, but you're exactly right. Right back over the shoulder.
What's that guy doing on defense? They're not supposed to be able to catch like that on defense. What a play for the backup there, the senior Todd Plate. He's got 2 interceptions for the year, and that's his 3rd in the Gator Bowl. First in the Gator Bowl, but 3rd for the season.
Ricky Powers back in the ball game. About to hit the 4:30 mark left in this 3rd quarter. Short drop and a quick out pass to Howard. He will take it across midfield. Tyrone Ashley put the stop on him as the Rebs had 3 defensive players in the vicinity.
I don't think Ole Miss has ever matched up with anybody quite like Michigan this year. The team that reminds me the most of them in the SEC is Tennessee. Tennessee has the great wideouts, the big offensive line, but I don't know if they have an Elvis Gerback playing quarterback the way Elvis can throw the ball and mix it up. He just does a little better job than Andy Kelly does.
Ole Miss creeps up the linebackers as cutting back against the grain is Powers and breaks it free. He will be caught at the 5-yard line.
They pass, they screen, they hit a quick screen. They go for a deep pass, a play action pass, and this time they stick it right up the gut. There it is, combination blocks by the offensive line. One guy takes the linebacker, the other guy pulls back and takes his man. Number 73, the big block that time for the Michigan offense. Tom Doring and Ricky Powers, the true freshman, into the secondary. All-time Michigan freshman rushing record for a true freshman, Ricky Powers, on the big game.
Powers now with 11 carries for 81 yards. Total rushing yardage now 228 Michigan, 71 Ole Miss. Touchdown bunch.
This time the tailbacks don't get the ball. They give it to the big fullback, 250-pound bunch. Right up the middle, right behind a great block by Matt Elliott, number 69. He cuts behind it into the end zone. Just weapon after weapon after weapon. And I'm not so sure if you drafted teams to go into a playoff, you wouldn't have to take Michigan as one of your 4 best teams in the country right now either.
J.D. Carlson with the extra point. And with 3:39 left in the 3rd, Michigan by 25. Our score 28-3 Michigan. Gary's exactly right. The Wolverines have put on a show today, trying to prove that they should be maybe one of the top 4 teams in the country. Brownlee will not make it to the 15-yard line.
The offensive line, right in the middle of your screen, the right guard, number 78, Dan Dingman's going to fold down. The center, Mark Elliott, is going to open the hole, and then Matt Elliott, number 69, is going to come around, open the play, and Bunch is going to go right into the end zone, practically on touch. Everett, Dingman, and Elliott, a combination block. And let's give a little credit here to number 24, Dennis Washington, a running back. He fits in a block, and then Bunch goes into the end zone. Good block by Dennis Washington, number 44, the remaining running back. There's the big lineman. Matt Elliott played center most of the year, and now he's going to line up at guard today because Everett's healthy.
Russ Shows is the quarterback. goes straight ahead as Thigpen gets the handoff. Will take it out to around the 17. See, Vaughn comes away with the football. They say, nope, no turnover.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of pro teams that would just like to take those 5 guys as a unit right now and just move them right up into the National Football League. They got themselves a good working unit.
On the keeper, coming out to the 21-yard line. Martin Davis will make the stop on Shows, and Ole Miss will be about 2 yards short of the first down.
Very tough right now for Red Parker, the offensive coordinator for Ole Miss. He needs Shows' arm in there to throw the ball. They haven't been able to get the option game going, but they still need to run the option game because that's what they do best. And Shows just isn't giving them that quickness, so they're caught betwixt and between.
Baldwin going to be knocked out of bounds short of the line of scrimmage. And let's go back to Jerry Punch.
Guys, not good news at all for free safety Jeff Carter, who came off the field in the Ole Miss last series when Michigan scored. His right knee suffered a sprain. They are putting some ice on it. They're going to evaluate him a little later on. He cannot bear weight on the right knee. Doubtful he'll return at all.
Okay, Jerry, thank you. Well, Baldwin has really been neutralized today by Michigan. Yes. And, of course, he is the weapon that the Rebels need on the ground to help make that passing game go. And he was stopped short of the line of scrimmage then. It's 4th down and 3, and Childers will have to punt it away.
Unfortunately, he's got to kick it to that guy, number 21, too.
Desmond Howard is the single back for Michigan. That one takes an Ole Miss bounce inside the 30, and it's good for 51 yards. Attendance for this 46 Mazda Gator Bowl, 68,927. Vaughn and Powers, let's take a look coming into the game, 7.6 and 7.3.
Yeah, they got those guys' pictures right there, but you know they have a picture of those front 5 guys that are opening all those holes. And of course, give credit to the play calling. They're keeping them off balance. They're just doing about anything they want in this game.
Well, that's the current yardage today. As Vaughn spins up the middle, and he is close to another 10-yard gain as Danny Boyd is somewhere down at the bottom of that stack, number 6.
Vaughn across the 40.
Going to say he's shy of the 40-yard line, and it's going to not be enough for a first down.
Here, you take a shot here. You're running the ball, but when you got the big blue guys up front, Matt Elliott, 69, comes around, fits into his block. You know, you got to give the Michigan line credit for being big, but also their execution, Ron. I mean, they're doing a good job. They're not just big guys up there.
Vaughn again, and this time he will have the first down plus about 8 more as he's out to the 49-yard line.
Vaughn carries the first down.
Kevin Pritchett is the man who made the stop for the Rebs.
This Ole Miss team is running into a buzzsaw here. There's so many different weapons. They're changing on the go. They're not huddling. They're off balance. Very, very difficult. Even if you're playing good football, you're not exactly sure who to hit here. Everybody's moving at a different speed and from a different direction.
It's Michigan's rhythm.
Yes.
It has not been Ole Miss's. Vaughn to the 34-yard line, and Danny Boyd finally wrapped him up.
Vaughn inside the 35.
That offensive line for Michigan, they got one guy 6'6", 322, Greg Skrepenik. On the other side, Tom Doring is 6'7", 290. They've started 35 consecutive games, the 2 tackles. I mean, they're just big-time football players. Skrepenik is just a junior, but there's some talk he may come out and go into the pro draft.
Play action. Looking for Alexander, all alone, touchdown.
Alexander,
pass. They bang. They had 3 straight very, very successful running plays, and then they hit him with the home run ball again, Ron. I don't know how you stop this type of an offense.
That's what I said. You know, the rhythm is Ole Miss has just been totally kept off balance. And Alexander then, he waited on the pass and still was open by 5 yards. Extra point is good. And
when you fake the ball, I'm sorry, Rob. When you fake the ball, you got to have everybody involved. You give it to Vaughn. He sneaks up in there and then he goes down for the check down. He's ready in case somebody isn't open. This time, Gerback has plenty of time to throw the ball. And Derek Alexander, the sophomore, number 1, 6'2", 190, gets open on the post route. It was the same exact route, Ron, that they ran to the other corner when he dropped to and fell down and didn't make the catch. This time he faked the corner route, went to the post, and he was wide open for the touchdown.
So we have 31 seconds left in the third period, and it is Michigan 35 and Ole Miss 3.
(35-3). Still going against the wind. It's still the third quarter, and Ole Miss is going to get the ball back. It was 3 and out last time, and that really, really hurt them pretty bad.
You find out what you're made of now when you're down by these kind of numbers with the team really hitting you with the heavy jabs. It's going to be Randy Baldwin from the goal line. Brings it back out over the 21-yard line. Here are the bowl winning percentages by the different conferences. 80 through 89. Pac-10 61%, SEC at 59, ACC 55%, and of course the numbers to the right is what has happened this year. And down in the cellar, the Southwest and the Big 8 Conference at 39 and 37%.
I think one of the tough things for the Big 8, though, they got to go play in that Orange Bowl every year, and they got to go face a Miami almost playing a home game or a Notre Dame. I mean, that's a tough bowl they get into every year.
Shows look to his right, nobody there, comes back to the other side and has Brownlee. Comes out to the 31-yard line, and Plate, who made that fine interception earlier in the third quarter, is there to make the stop. And that's going to be the last play of this third quarter.
I'll tell you, those offensive linemen right there, they might not even get to play the fourth quarter. They've done their job all night.
And that's it. The end of the third quarter with our score. Michigan 35, Ole Miss 3. ESPN's Bowl Week, and we say happy holidays and happy New Year to you. 1991. This the first day of. And as we start this fourth quarter, the Wolverines 35-3 over Mississippi. Shows in the play action, dumps it out in the flat. It's Courtney. Eric Anderson pushes him out of bounds at around the 34.
Great play by Eric Anderson right there. All Big Ten out inside linebacker. He's led the Wolverines in tackling 3 straight years. First time in history anybody's led the Wolverines in tackling 3 straight years. By the way, just a junior. He can do it a 4th.
Long for Brownlee. Incomplete down at the 35.
Down pass intended for Eddie Small, incomplete.
One of the guys you'll see as they come out of the huddle this time, and I'm double checking to make sure that he is in the ballgame, is Dawson Pruitt, the senior from Mobile, the offensive center for Ole Miss. He received the Scholastic Award yesterday for Ole Miss. Already in law school, has received his undergraduate degree. There's a good look at him.
Hey, what a tribute. The guy's not just he's going to go to the Senior Bowl, too. That means a pretty good football player.
Pass thrown complete to Brownlee, and he is gang tackled at the 46-yard line. And in fact, the thing that he said at the luncheon yesterday is he thanked the university and also Coach Brewer for allowing him to be an athlete and a student. What they did is they let him out of spring practice last year so he could take some extra courses and get ahead so he could go to law school.
Ole Miss now going without the huddle and trying to move the ball through the air.
Showers pumped once and then looked up, and there's no way he could get away from Alex Marshall.
Now, passing the backfield by Alex Marshall.
Drop back pass. Michigan's in the deep zone. This time Showers is going to drop back. Look down the middle of the field. Thinks he's got somebody open, but you got somebody open right at you too. Alex Marshall, number 59, in there because Chris Hutchinson is a little bit dinged.
Corwin Brown tackled inside the 50-yard line.
Corwin Brown of Michigan interception.
So Michigan will take the football over again, and I have to wonder if Solon might come in at quarterback with the Wolverines up 35-3.
I think we may see him today. I don't know. Elvis Gerback already has 4 touchdown passes in this game. They've run. They've done just about everything. They're huddling on the sideline. We're going to have to wait just like everybody else. Gerback's still in the game. Looks like they're still going to go with the starters. Corwin Brown is the sophomore backing up Veda Murray, who's the starting free safety. Gerback, 4 TDs, 14 for 24, 14 passes for 266 yards.
Bunch still hunting and pecking and fights his way inside the 40 down to around the 37. Chris Mitchell defensively. Michigan touchdown passes for the season, and with the 4 today, Mr. Gerback moves in front of Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh is playing in the National Football League. 22 touchdown passes of the season, kind of almost unheard of when you think about Michigan football in the past.
Ricky Powers with the sweep to the right side will pick up the first down.
They've got some great skilled talent on this football team, and they're very young. The challenge for 1991 for this Michigan team is, can we replace this offensive line? They're going to lose 3 of them probably. I got a feeling that, knowing Michigan football in the past, they probably got some guys there ready to take the job over and probably not even miss a beat.
I would imagine you're right. There are some 288s and some 296s in the next group. Ricky Powers inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. Tyrone Ashley made the stop.
And Dixon combined for the stop. It's the first down.
Boy, I tell you, you've got a team that can throw the ball again. I know there you see number 69, Elliott, coming around. Bunch. What a block Bunch puts on him. Keeps the legs going, gets them into the secondary. It's like a sprint to the secondary. As a safety, you got to wear a face mask and a neck roll because you guys coming on you today full speed.
Bunch takes it straight ahead, and he's in the vicinity of the 11-yard line. Artis Ford holding on to him. Gary Moeller taking over a very difficult situation at the University of Michigan.
There you heard the call, Bo or Yost. What is this? I got to say the Bo play's got to play right up the middle. Maybe a quarterback sneak or a fullback up the middle. And the Yost play, what is that? Yost is a sweep or something? They name him after the great players there.
This is Bo.
There's Bo, right up the middle.
Powers fumbles the ball, and Ole Miss recovers in the end zone. That'll be a touchback.
I like the Bo play.
Kevin Ingram has made the recovery for Ole Miss. The hit was made by Chris Mitchell. And with the fumble into the end zone, it'll come back out to the 20.
They called the Bo play. And if you know Michigan football, you know they run this play a lot when Bo Schembecker was the coach. There you see it. Ricky Powers gets nailed. It is Chris Mitchell, number 38, that puts the hit on him. And there's a big turnover for the Ole Miss defense. You're right. You know, you got to play now with pride. I mean, a lot of guys can play when you're ahead and you know you're going to win the game. Now you got to show that you can finish a game that you're not going to win. Good job, Chris Mitchell.
So it looks like number 14, Russ Showers, a sophomore from Senatobia, Mississippi, will continue to run the offense. Sings it over the middle, incomplete. 11:48 left to play in this one. Michigan 35, Ole Miss 3. And out caught by Owens on the far sideline, and he will have the Ole Miss first down +4.
Derek Owens, 6'2", 195. He's the leading receiver. Caught 18 balls for 305 yards. Nice throw by Schaus there. Right on the line, right on the sideline. Russ Schaus started the first game of the season, got hurt against Auburn. That was the big change for the Ole Miss team. Luke came in, did a good job, and led them to a 9-2 record. 3-1, though, when Schaus has been the starter.
Ball is tipped. Boy, that one was almost picked off. Neil Simpson got a hand on it, number 65. And you can see Dwayne Ware, who's a sophomore from Bloomington, Illinois, number 8, almost got the pick off on that one. Russ's dad was a favorite receiver of Archie Manning's when he played at Ole Miss.
Boy, there's a name. Archie Manning, when you went out for a pass, you didn't know who was going to get the ball. He was going to scramble. He could get some guy on either sideline from anywhere. What a player.
Here they come with the option, and the pitch back to Baldwin. Turns the corner, 45 and out to the 50-yard line. Todd Plate and Veda Murray combining on the stop for Michigan.
Todd Plate had the big interception. Veda Murray, there's a story right there. You know, we hear a lot about Prop 48 players. There he is, Veda Murray. He's a senior. He came in as a Prop 48. He will graduate. You know, a lot of people put a lot of criticism on this Prop 48, but he gave it an opportunity. He's from Cincinnati Moeller, very famous high school. He's going to graduate and get his degree from Michigan.
Incomplete, I'll tell you what. Holder is the man he wanted, I think, and Baldwin thought he was throwing the ball to him.
Baldwin almost intercepted it.
Baldwin almost took it away from him.
You got Jeff Holder on a little stop route to the outside, and because of the short hash right there, he threw it, and they were in the same line of vision for the quarterback, and he almost picked it off.
11:25 left to play in this one. Now this is the last of the bowl games for us here on ESPN. Started out at the Liberty. Had an interesting one there as Baldwin catches the pass over the middle, tries to get to the sideline, and he does, and he'll stop the clock. And Dr. Jerry Punch has an update for us as a flag comes in.
Fellas, a couple of proud fathers standing with me. To my right is Hank Schaus, who is the father, of course, of Russ Schaus, quarterback, and Tommy Luke, the dad of Tom Luke. And Hank, you were a favorite target for Archie Manning. Some great bowl memories for you, but this team's playing pretty well in the fourth quarter. Your son doing well.
Well, they have played pretty well, but they're going to have to get a lot more going to be able to do anything against this group. They're big.
Indeed, they're big. A lot of pride here. Let's talk quickly to Tommy Luke. Tommy, your son Tom ran the offense well in the first half, the option, but just couldn't move anybody up front.
Well, yes, we got behind. Then we had to go to our passing game and try to open it up a little bit. And as you can see, Russ is a little more apt at throwing the ball than Tom. He's in the ground game mode.
Two quarterback fathers. They are both big fans of each young man. They pull for each other when they're in the game. No competition here, just on the field, guys.
Thank you, Jerry. As we said, both of those dads played at Ole Miss.
Well, the penalty was called against Ole Miss, too, on that play, unfortunately. They had a pretty good drive going, throwing the ball and keeping Michigan off balance. Michigan's got some of their backup secondary people in, but...
First down, 25.
Well, that's the penalty that Gary was talking about.
And that the worst is it was a dead ball foul, so it is going to be 1st and 25.
Ball is zipped, and it is intercepted. Pat Maloney for Michigan got the carry. Ball was tipped, and he was at the right place at the right time. So 11:10 left to play in the ball game. Michigan 35-3. Ron Franklin, Gary Danielson, and Dr. Jerry Punch, and we wish you a happy new year from Jacksonville, Florida, the Mazda Gator Bowl. Solem has come in at quarterback, and on the first running play, this is Leggett, and he picks up where everybody else is left off. He has a gain of about 13 yards as he takes it across midfield, and Michael Robinson will make the tackle.
Solom has come in at quarterback, the junior, number 14. They've also changed the offensive line. Actually, it's been wholesale changes. They've changed everyone. Second team is in, and they're going to try to see if they can move the ball now.
Alan Jefferson in the ball game at tailback. He's number 28. Gets the call, and he will take it to the 46-yard line.
On the carry for the Wolverines. Stop by 4.
Some of the substitutes in the ball game for Michigan. Brian Wallace. You can see Doug Skee, number 72. He's a junior out of Fairview, Texas, 6'6", 288 pounds. That's Brian Wallace, 64. He's a sophomore from Parma, Ohio. Solom gets the pass out of the flat, throws it complete, and that's Kevin Owen. And they say stop the clock. For a moment they said keep it running, but he's inside the 40 at the 38-yard line. Now we have a new Gator Bowl record this afternoon by Michigan. 633 yards.
I got a feeling that might be a record most bowl games, 633 yards. And to get into the 700s, that's going to be a little bit scary. Wholesale changes. The only one I really see in there is still number 75, Skrepenik.
Now the old record was 569. It was held by Florida State as Leggett on the carry.
Kind of a good story about number 14, Ken Solom. Everybody's been calling him Solemn for a couple of years. When Bo was there, when Bo left last year, he said, went up to the SID, Bruce Mahdi, and said, all right if I go back to my old name now the way I used to pronounce it? When Bo calls you Solemn, you answer, even if your name is Solom.
Canyon County, California, his home. He's a junior, 6'2", 194 pounds. Jefferson to the right side. I don't know if he got the first down or not. He's close. Victor Lester defensively, and Jerry Punch. Let's go to him for an update.
A lot of question about how Michigan would take to the grass here in the Gator Bowl. They're a turf team. They played on artificial turf at home in Michigan Stadium. Well, 600 yards, a new Gator Bowl record in total offense. They're taking to the grass pretty well, and they're going to like the grass because when they tee it up next year in September in Michigan Stadium, a $2 million renovation. They're going to be playing on this stuff, guys, Bermuda grass.
Okay. Thanks, Punch Doctor.
They're also putting in the PAT system, which means they're going to have drains and drain the water right out of it. And they may even lower the field, I understand. They improve the view sight lines from those people sitting up real close.
Alan Jefferson being tackled and stopped at the 29-yard line. Allen is a senior. He's out of Detroit, 6 feet, 206 pounds. See if there's anybody else in that offensive line. Yeah, Joe Kokozo.
Kokozo had been starting for a number of plays when Steve Everett was injured. He's back. Now Kokozo went back to second team. He's back in the lineup now as a backup. Skrepenik is the only real starter that's in there at this time. But these guys look just as big as the first unit. You're right.
Kokozo's 294. This is the 7th play of this drive. As we're about to go under 8 minutes. Leggett breaks it big up the middle. A flag has been thrown, and again it's the umpire, so I think bring it back. Artis Ford is pointing at his guy, saying I was being held.
Holding. It's Michigan.
I believe that's the 5th offensive line.
Skrepenik is out of the ball game, and who do we have in? Doring has gone to that side. So the 10-yard penalty erases the fine run up the middle, and they'll push it back to the 39-yard line.
Tell you, just one player after another, moving the ball, keeping them off balance. It's hard to dial a wrong play when you have this type of an offense. You can't pick one that won't work.
35-3. Just under 7.5 minutes to play. Solom hit as the ball is thrown. It'll go incomplete, and now a late flag comes in toward the quarterback. And that's going to be a clipping call against Michigan.
Against Michigan.
There you see the big guy. He's going to get a rest right now. Doring's back in. He seems to be the swing tackle now. And the Michigan offense just continues to move. You know, Billy Brewer, this is really what he was afraid of, is going in and having a game where they just get completely pushed around the field and kind of put a damper on a great season for them. A 9-2 season, they go into a bowl game, and he's afraid that's all everybody will remember.
Solom sets in the pocket over the middle, has it complete, and just across midfield. And let's see, it's going to bring up still third down and mini. That was Johnson who has come into the lineup. Yeah, I asked him when I visited after practice a couple of days ago about that situation. I said, you know, what if that huge offensive line really starts to bully you and they're able to make it happen from tackle to tackle? And he just smiled and he said, we pray it doesn't happen because there's not a lot that we would be able to do to counter it. Solom going to go long on this one, and the ball is intercepted by Boyd at the 10-yard line.
Solom pass intercepted by Danny Ward.
So timeout, 6:31 left of the ball game. Michigan big. Thank you, Tim. Our score 35-3 with 6:31 left in the ball game. Shows wheels, gets it away, complete out at the 35 to Vincent Brownlee.
Boy, did he put that one on the money. Half roll, hit Brownlee on a little out and up. Inside receiver ran an out route. Brownlee went deep, and he put it right there, right over the shoulder. Shows throws a nice ball.
Somebody has set off a smoke bomb behind the Michigan bench. That's about the only thing that has gone askew for them today, huh?
For sure.
Brownlee now 2 catches for 30 yards. Shows wanted to go long, and just as he started to pump, going to be sacked back at the 30-yard line, and that is going to be Eric Graves, who is there to make the stop. Well, off the top of the telecast, we talked about what the coaches had wanted. Billy Brewer wanted the heat. He wanted the big guys from Michigan to sweat. Didn't happen today. Temperature in the 50s, nice and air-conditioned, and Michigan proved that this was their kind of weather. Pass thrown complete. Brownlee caught him in the seams again. Eddie Small, I beg your pardon, number 4.
Nice job there by Russ Shows. He pumped down the middle to hold the deep free safety and threw the ball to the sideline. He didn't lob it. He put it right there where only his receiver could get it. Hold the safety when you have 2 deep safeties and throw to the outside.
Shows has got a couple of more years to look at him as far as Shows' playing time, because Eddie Small is only a freshman. He's from right here in Jacksonville. Pass. He's caught by Brownlee, and they'll say he got his feet in bounds at the 34. That one might have been hard to see because of the smoke bomb, which is just about cleared out.
Great concentration on this. Throw it in into the zone, but into the away from the zone roll coverage one way, but into the smoke bomb. Kind of snuck out there, hit on the sideline, through the deep cross pass. There you see it. I don't know if he got any feet down, but let's call it good.
That pass is it. It is tipped, and it is caught by Camp Roberts. Michigan thought for the world. Graves thought he had himself another Michigan interception, and Camp Roberts got the deflection.
Well, Graves went for it. Threw it through the zone this time. Drops back. Lets her wing. Everybody's fighting for the interceptions. Jump ball. And Camp Roberts ends up with it. Guys flying all over. They got the backups in on set, the defense, and they're trying to get in there and get a turnover or whatever on Michigan for Michigan also.
Thigpen, the big fullback, goes straight ahead, takes it inside the 15. Dobrev, Dave is a freshman. Mount Clemens, Michigan, is there to make the stop. Shaw's pass over the middle again. Camp Roberts tries to put on a move, and he'll have the Ole Miss first down at the 7.
Camp Roberts that time just drags across the middle. Easy throw for the quarterback. Michigan still staying in their zone, dropping off, giving them the short pass underneath.
Change move, and once again the clock goes back in. We've just now gone under 5 minutes to play in this one. Zips it over the middle, intercepted after the tip. Kurt Mallory comes away with the football, and Camp Roberts was tipping it from one hand to another, and when he tipped it in the air, it's almost, that's the scenario of this entire ball game.
Right, except for instead of an incomplete pass, the ball was thrown behind a little bit. And when it was tipped up, everybody had a shot at it. Tight end's wide open. There you see him. He's got his hand up. Throw is behind him. Actually, the ball hits the ground.
Yeah, it did.
That should not be an interception. And Kurt Mallory, of course, comes up with the big interception right here. This ball hits the ground. Once it hits the ground, the play's over. It's either a touchdown or an incomplete pass.
Tossed it back in the air, trying to catch it himself, and Michigan comes away with the interception. And you can see Shaw's in his reaction. It pretty well summarizes the day for Ole Miss. .450 left to play in this one, and Michigan scrimmaging from their own 20-yard line following that interception by Mallory. Solon with a quick out pass. That one's complete to Birch. And he'll take it out to the 32. One more look at the interception.
The ball is thrown behind, and when he reaches back, the ball hits the ground right there. That's when it bounces up. Yes, he does tip it, but Mallory gets the interception after it hits the ground. This should not be an interception. Either it's a touchdown, he catches the ball, or it's not a completed pass. That should have been an incomplete pass at the most. You got to give the guy credit. I mean, he's going to grab the ball. It's just one of those days. Those are the way that things happen, and Mallory ends up with it.
Leggett breaks a couple of tackles and then takes 3 people with him across the 45 to the 44-yard line. Kevin Ingram defensively. You want to hear some awesome averages. Powers, of course, is out of the ball game. An average of 8.6, and Vaughn 9.8 per carry today.
Jeez.
That's incredible.
And it's not like they did it with an 85-yard run, to skew the statistics. I mean, they did it just with grounding it out to 9 yards, 8 yards, 10 yards, 12 yards, 6 yards, just time after time.
Sean Watson. Under 4 minutes left to play in this one. Solom zings the pass, incomplete. I want to pass out some thank yous here. The folks at the Gator Bowl, they always make us feel so welcome. Victor Jackson, the president of the Mazda Gator Bowl this year. Special thanks to him. Also to John Bell and his staff. John is the executive director. And, of course, our special thanks to the 2 schools, to Ole Miss, their athletic director, Warner Offord, sports information director, Langston Rogers, and head coach Billy Brewer and his staff. And for the folks from Michigan, Jack Weidenbach and the athletic director, his people were wonderful. Bruce Mady, the SID, and, of course, to Gary Moeller and his staff. We appreciate it all. Leggett gets caught with an ankle-high tackle. And he is stopped before reaching the 30-yard line. It's Tyrone Ashley who came up to make the stop.
Ron, you know, I mentioned that they're going to be losing some of these great senior linemen, and they've got a lot of sophomore and young talent at the skill positions. Are they going to find the other guys? I think so. Watching these guys block, there you see Manning, Paul Manning, 257, just a sophomore. He's going to get bigger. I saw Brian Wallace, number 64. He's in there, 275 yards.
Pounds.
275 pounds. He's responsible for 275 yards.
This one will go. That ball came out, but they're going to say it was dead at the 29-yard line. Dennis Washington again on the carry. Elvin Lindblad is the man who handles our numbers.
There's the two
each
receivers.
week on Saturday nights as we look at some of the happy Michigan players. And to Big E, we say a happy new year and thanks for another great job well done. And to Bill Warndell, who is my spotter, my right-hand guy who stays here in the booth with us every Saturday. Guys, another great job, and it's been a super season working with you. We have enjoyed it. Dennis Washington with a head down close to the first down around the 23-yard line. Well, Mazda will be contributing $2,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of both of these universities, of both Michigan and Mississippi, in the name of the team's most valuable player. And Gary and I will give those to you in just a short time as the clock is now down under 2 minutes to play. Dennis Washington takes it down to the 19-yard line. Now there's a part of the offensive line, Skrepnik, of the Michigan Wolverines. I can tell you what we have done might be a little unprecedented, but we thought they certainly deserved it. As you look at Dean Dingman,
Kodak All-American.
The remainder of the what we have done is we have given the most valuable player to the entire offensive line of Michigan. Whether it's ever been done before or not, I don't know. But not to take anything away from Vaughn or Powers or Bunch, but without those guys, they wouldn't have had the productivity that they had this afternoon.
I mean, they all did so well. Alvin Gerback, Desmond Howard.
And Tyrone Ashley right there. He is the MVP for the Ole Miss Rebels in this ball game. For hits like we just saw. Also for an interception and a very long kick return.
As I said, when you're behind like this now, you're not playing to win the game. You're playing for pride. Tyrone's had a great game here today. He had the big kickoff return and then a big early interception to keep the game close in the first half.
Under a minute to play as Leggett takes it straight ahead, and he's inside the 15-yard line. And that is going to just about do it. I would doubt that Michigan would try to run another play as the game clock is down to 19 and now 18. And the Michigan faithful over to our right beginning to stand and cheer. I think they'll count it down for us. We can tell you that total yardage in the ball game, Michigan finishes with 714 yards. And the Wolverines of Michigan have won it. The 46th Mazda Gator Bowl. The final score of 35-3. And let's go down to Jerry Punch. He is with Coach Moeller.
Indeed, Coach. Coach is pulling his offensive line and his players around him. Coach, a great job today by your club.
Well, I think these guys, Dean and Bunch and all these guys, our seniors, did a great job. And they're the guys that blocked up front, and that's why we got the running game going, and we can mix in the pass. But, yeah, we're very proud of our kids, particularly the way we came back.
Coach, we saw a lot of teaching on the sidelines in the last 3 and 4 minutes of the game. The game is not in question, but the coaches are talking about something like September 14th. Some team comes to Michigan.
Well, I don't think it was us. As far as our coaches, we were still in this game. Some of the players get excited about that. But we got a tough schedule next year, and it's going to be exciting.
Coach, we gave the most valuable player to the whole offensive line, figuring the job they did was worthy of the MVP.
That's a great job. I think that was excellent. And I know one of the best awards our defense ever got one time was the player of the year was the whole defense. So we couldn't be happier. They did a great job.
Again, congratulations, Coach.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Coach wins it here. Michigan Wolverines winning it 35-3. in the 46th annual Gator Bowl. Ron?
Well, I mentioned off the top of the telecaster early on today that Gary Moeller was taking over an extremely difficult situation. It's hard to follow a legend and do it without having some waves. And I think for the most part with this finish today, good heavens, I think he not only completed the first year with honor, extremely well.
Oh, and he's doing it his own way. He's not trying to copy Bo's style. He's charting new ground. He's throwing the ball. He's going no huddle. And you leave yourself open to some criticism. But he stood there. They had a little slump in the middle of the year. And now they're in position for next year. That September 14th date, that's when Florida State comes up to Michigan. That's going to be a big, major game at the beginning of next season.
So the Michigan Wolverines finish this season on not just a high note, an extremely high note, as they win over Ole Miss 35-3.